It's like a Batman call. I was
Yeah.
like, oh shit.
Well, speaking of Batman
It was
call,
more like a bad omen.
everybody, say what's up to the chat because next podcast is live. Yo, what is going on, everybody? I gotta say, when it comes to tonight's show, I get excited every Saturday for a show, but I am really excited. I am a little bit edgy. I'm a little bit extra opinionated from things I've seen on Twitter today, and I was like, you know what? What venue would be best to kind of release this energy? And of course, it had to be on a Saturday. So even at work, while I was checking Twitter and stuff, I was like, man, I cannot wait until 7 p.m. K Mega, you do realize the show starts at 7 p.m. Eastern, right?
I make them own damn time. I'm K Money. No,
yo, on that note, guys, huge shout out to everybody in the chat for coming in,
man.
Bright and early, getting ready at the beginning of the show. I really do appreciate it. Huge shout out to my brother G-Man out on Twitter for seeing the common sense that I am talking about with some of the gaming topics that, have been so popular for this past week. So huge shout out to G-Man out there. But we gotta get into the intros, and coming live from the 405, where alarm clocks don't work anymore. K Mega!
Hey, I get paid in my other job. This job, I'm here doing it for fun. So, hey, I got to get, but I'm here. I'm here. I'm a little droggy, but that's okay, man. I'm good.
I have a feeling, we got like, you do the opening topics to kind of get into the groove. I feel like, 25% into the show, you're going to be fully awake and you would be ready to go, brother.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to be ready. Yeah, I'm going to be ready. But anyway, man, it's good to be here. Back with the panel, doing our thing, man. Had a blast with Yobi on GRG, and Pred snuck his little dog ass in there.
His little dog ass? Oh, no.
But it was real fun, man. Had a good time with that. So glad to be amongst my brothers, man. And we'll go ahead and hear about Knox and them yuccas. Somewhere it's going to be some of the things that he said.
Nice, man. Well, on that note, we got to introduce one of the most up-and-coming voices in these gaming podcast streets out here. Yeah, you do hear him talk about the yuccas. You know he's from NYC. One of the most opinionated gaming YouTubers out there, Knoxximus!
Yes, today we're going to be civilized and we're going to have a great time here on the next podcast. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. It's going to happen.
All right, who the hell are you? What you do at Knox, man?
We got great topics coming. We're going to enjoy it. Got an awesome panel of gamers and great community.
Dude,
let's get it, everybody. Let's do it. Destiny all day, baby. Yeah.
Yo, I thought Chauncey poisoned a beer or something you were drinking.
That was Chauncey's dad.
Oh,
that's Timothy. That's Chauncey's pops.
Oh, no.
He wants to be sophisticated, man.
Sophisticated. I got you.
It was great to be here, man. I can't wait to get into this joint with you guys, man. Let's get it, man.
Nice. And next on the list, man, he's got Tabasco sauce running in his bloodstreams, man. You guys know he is edgy as well. He might say no, but he is. The man who has saved the world over so many times I lost count, fingers and toes and such. Dark Optimus!
Oh, it must be mild Tabasco sauce.
Yeah, I know, right? What happened? Dude, he's so spicy right now. He doesn't even want to talk.
See, that's that Stadia internet he got right there.
Oh, no.
Zing.
See, if Mega was on point right now, if he was wide awake, he would have done the otter sound.
I'm going for it right now, but go ahead.
He would have done the otter sound.
Yeah, man.
Guys, we can't make this guy last, all right? If you make him last in the intros, you're going to hear about it. He is in the starting lineup here every Saturday for the next podcast. Predator!
I'm glad you didn't make me last. I know you thought about it, though. You probably, oh, shit. Let me go. Is that the otter noise?
Not yet.
Was that the penis demon?
That was the penis demon.
Yes, I have a demon penis. Ladies.
Wow. Guys, we're going to cut that out. We're just
Man,
letting
He's
you
him
can't
know.
say
already
that stuff
in
on
my intro.
Xbox Live, man.
He's hungry. He said, and he said he'll be right back.
Wow, he's hungry. All right. Well,
Uh,
Pred, it's good to have you on again, man. I look forward to talking topics with you. Every Saturday. I think you might have some opinions on the topics we have lined up, and I might have a couple curveballs as well, man.
We have topics today? Hold on. I ain't
Yeah.
remember.
Oh shit. All right, moving on. Moving on, guys. You know what time it is because I know everybody out there listening right now. Your lights are flickering. You don't know what's going on. I'm here to tell you it is time to stand up, show that respect, kiss that ring. The Dawn.
Hey guys, I'm just on the podcast today. I decided to provide bot with a Destiny tracker to show him
Oh
the
my
actual
God.
user base. I'm
I thought
not
we were
hating.
done.
I'm
I
just
thought-
providing
I thought we were done
information
talking
to
about
the
it, brother.
to
we were
everyone
done.
that's out there.
You
But
are,
it's
you are
okay.
such a hater. You know that.
Hey, listen,
You are
bot
a
can't
hater.
handle the truth. But that's okay. We're gonna have a podcast today and all that good stuff. Hey
Wow.
guys, thanks for having me on.
Wow. Wow, guys, I don't even know where to go with that from now. I think we should just go directly into the topics here, and I'm trying to decide where we're gonna go. Let's get right into the meat of it because with the announcement of xCloud, with Google coming out with Stadia and showing these subscription services like Game Pass and stuff like that, it seems that there are gamers out there freaking out, and they're starting to yell that the sky is falling. They're saying that eventually, games as a service is such a it like these subscriptions are such a bad thing because that's where they want to go ultimately. Ultimately, people not owning their games, all this good stuff. I see a lot of doom and gloom out there in the gaming community, and you guys, you know us. We're not about that doom and gloom. But I don't know. I'm gonna start with Knoxximus here. Knox, is there is
but it's okay, but
Are we?
We're
Keep it
totally
going.
off air, man.
Yeah, we're offline, right? We're off.
No, we're back.
Okay.
We're back.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, now we're
I
back.
lost you guys too, man. Like somebody
Okay.
does not want us to talk about games.
For the show yesterday.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. All right. So can you guys hear me now?
I hear you.
All right. We are in the green. Hopefully that was just a hiccup. All right, but I was going towards Knox, and I want to hear. I don't know when you guys didn't hear. When everything got cut
The
off.
whole thing, the beginning.
The whole
Just
thing.
start fresh.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
all right.
restart,
Let's get
restart.
into lately in the gaming community, when it comes to things like Game Pass, and we know Sony has hired people to redo their PlayStation Now. We also know that Sony is inquired and kind of signed a preliminary deal to use the Azure cloud. So talking about game subscriptions, like streaming games, game subscriptions, stuff like that, people in the gaming community are yelling that the sky is falling. They're saying that this is a really bad deal and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's not so much the sky is falling, right? But it is something to be concerned about for certain gamers. You know what I'm saying?
Now,
it depends. Yeah, go ahead, Bob.
No. I was gonna ask you to kind of elaborate, what
Elaborate.
Is,
Sure.
Yeah. What does that
All
mean to you, brother?
All right, look. My thing is this, right? Do I really want to pay $9.99 for Game Pass, $9.99 for PlayStation Now, $9.99 for Google Stadia, $65 for Xbox Live, $65 for PSN, $20 for Switch? You know, do I really want? That is all the majority of that, right? Except for the services, right? Except for the gaming, like PS Now and Game Pass, right? You already spending $150 just to get online with 3 consoles, right? Because 65, and 20, there you go, right? That's $150 that you spending. That's not a game. That's nothing. That's just you giving these companies this money, right? And then you're gonna add these services that give me really what I'm not looking for. It's cool that Game Pass is a service that people could take advantage of, right? Like okay, you're a child, you don't have no problem playing like older content from past generations. You know what I'm saying? That is cool. You pay $10. There you go. Get your fill. I'm not buying you no new games though. Whatever comes out new, that's what you're gonna consume there. If you're gonna take that approach, cool. Me, I don't like playing. I get consoles to play the newer stuff, right? I always want to be playing the latest and greatest. So Game Pass doesn't suit my needs. PlayStation Now doesn't suit my needs, really. But what's scary about this whole shit is that they don't. I don't think they care. I don't think they care. They just want you in there and to forget about it and just pay for it, and still try to sell you the latest and greatest content. And in Microsoft's case, even less, because they're not even putting out latest and greatest anymore. They're just quantity over quality, in my opinion, just to put them in Game Pass so that there's more content for them to make it more appealing and say, well, this is good at face value.
Well, I feel like when it comes to Game Pass, they have kind of gotten on a roll with certain things, and I think they're evolving kind of like that platform a lot more. I think what I really was trying to say,
two good games in there, but go ahead. My bad.
No, what I was really trying to say, like I guess you could say, is this really a threat to like gamers out there? Kind of like the calm before the storm and everything like that, or is this just a fact of life that the gaming industry is evolving, and this is just kind of like an old way of thinking?
Nah, it's really not. If you're gonna start looking at it from the perspective of like, is it bad? All right, I don't like not owning my content, and I feel like if they get their way and this streaming stuff is truly embraced, like that's what they want to do. They don't want you to buy and own a console anymore, right? They just want you to keep leasing the console, leasing your games. You don't own any of it. You know what I'm saying? If look at now with this upcoming like censorship shit that Phil's talking about. So my man, I'm thousands of dollars in. If I say the wrong thing on Xbox Live, I'm gonna be policed, and then I have access to none of my shit. Things like that are that set like a kind of a dangerous tone that people absolutely need to be aware of as consumers.
Yeah,
because they're gonna get that console money regardless from just from the subscription. It's baked in there. Right now, they actually get you because it's baked in there, and you buy a console, so that's good for them. But they want to get rid of it, and I don't like that.
At the end of the day, I mean, like we could be really honest here. If the companies make any kind of money off the selling of hardware, it's very little, if any. So I mean, it's not like I know you're like, well, now they have, they're going to get you baked in there, and they're selling a console right now. So, but it's not really that much of oh man, they're dipping into two pots of gold right now. I don't think, but and when it comes to the whole Phil Spencer Xbox Live thing, we will get into that as well in this show. I think it's very interesting to talk about in terms of freedom of speech and whatnot. So we're gonna have to get back to that. Yo, Mega, what do you feel about these subscriptions here? Do you think that there is a real threat here that people within a certain amount of time, gamers within a certain amount of time, they're gonna lose like their property, they're gonna lose their games, or do you think that this is an older way of thinking? From a community that we have been in for so long, and it's just that the industry is changing, and when people don't like change sometimes, man.
No, they don't. And the problem is that if you still have that dinosaur mentality, you will be like the dinosaur. You'll be in the dust. It's just that simple. I mean, look at everything with technology, with cars, with electronics, everything across the world that we use. It's all been enhanced in one way, shape, or form. And people have adjusted to it or they haven't. And this is the same thing with gaming. They've made it clear about what their strategy is, and Sony, well, I should say Nintendo, is probably the last ones that's kind of keeping to the old tradition. But even themselves know where their toast is buttered, and it's all about user base. I mean, we all know this. I mean, it's funny to me because it's all been about console sales, And when Microsoft came out and said something about user base, it was the laughing stock. Now, when Sony does it, now you're starting to see it slowly creep into the PlayStation fan base out there, the fanatics, not the regular PlayStation fans, to where they starting to say user base. Well, we want to reach to this, and that. It's real simple. It's an option as well. It's nobody's
Yeah,
not
at
stopping
least
you.
right now, man. Like,
Well, it's still an option. I don't think, because not every game is good. Like, okay, like let's say for instance, Final Fantasy VII that's going to be coming out next year, or in Cyberpunk. Those games aren't going to be on Game Pass or on or any other service as we know it to this point. And those big games like that are still going to have to be purchased. But when you look at a game like Metro, like something that I said a couple of months ago, that maybe because it's one of those games that didn't really take off when the first of the 3 games came out, and people didn't gravitate to them, but they got a little bit of buzz. Well, it hit its peak, but now since it's on Game Pass, it's gonna strive even more, because there's people that's intrigued, but they don't have the money to play that, because they'd rather spend their money on the Mortal Kombats or on the or on something else out there that they feel more comfortable in spending their money on, instead of a game that they've never played or that they're just kind of intrigued on. You see what I'm saying? So that's where the luxury of Game Pass is, and with what's PlayStation now, probably it will eventually have to do for their gamers as well. And again, it's options. Nothing wrong with having more options. And something that Knox alluded to, what he gave, it was misinformation, because he said that you got to pay for Game Pass and you got to pay for Xbox Live. You got Ultimate Game. You got Ultimate Game Pass.
That's okay. Yeah, that's Ultimate Game. That doesn't appeal. That doesn't. That's you just bundle it. That's just a way to make you pay for Xbox Live and Game Pass.
But you can get Xbox. But hold on, whoa! I gave you your time. It's my time.
Right, but you mentioned it.
I did mention you, and then you can wait. Hold on.
It's in there.
Okay, but it's in there. But you can get deals on Xbox Live anywhere.
But there you go.
And you can get it for get it for $30. Also, they're giving away that shit for $1 right now. I know so many people that's got that has their Xbox Live, and since it's got switched over to the Ultimate, up for years. My shit is to the max. You know what I'm saying? So I mean,
how many years of Xbox Live Gold you went and bought to do that? To get those 36 months, you had to buy at least 3 years, right?
Really, I didn't have to. I got so many of those cards. I didn't know, but I'm just saying.
All right, well, that doesn't count. You're going to E3, man.
Yeah, I got mine with 2023, but the fact of it was, I still didn't pay $60 a pop for them, and for the extra cards that I did get. You know what I'm saying? That added on. I passed some of those out to the homies, and they up. So I'm saying it's to me, it's like, listen, it's not like
it's a good look for everybody that knows Mega, but for the rest of the consumers out there, it's not a good look.
No, it's not. It's because it's easy to go find Xbox Live cheaper. It is. No, you could go anywhere. You go to G2A. You could go
good. That's
all good. Many other places. You could just type in deals. You see deals that's on social media where they show Xbox Live for.
I understand all of that, but the point is that Microsoft is still locking you in. It don't matter if you go get it cheaper somewhere. They're making the bread on it.
PlayStation's not locking you in with PlayStation Now?
They are locking you in. Well, not with PlayStation Now. I don't know about
they're gonna do a bundle themselves. You know they are.
But they haven't done it yet.
I know they are.
Okay, but they're still locking you.
I don't care. It don't make it any righter because Sony does it. You know what I mean? So let's not get it mistaken.
That's a great point.
I'm not going to sit there and say it's okay if Sony. No, so you don't need to mention Sony will eventually do it, and I will eventually hate it too. I will hate it when they do it.
They're the two biggest game companies out there, right? And then all of them is going to. Even Nintendo has some kind of little subscription base. So it's just the way that things are. And if you want to, and if you don't want to do it, then you don't want to do it. But
that's all well and good, right? Listen, my whole thing is my issue with this shit, as far as Microsoft is concerned, is if Microsoft was still giving me what I'm looking for and did all the crap they doing, putting their stuff everywhere, doing Game Pass, I would look at it somewhat differently. But the thing is, I already see that they aren't delivering on one front to try and strengthen another. And the one that they want to strengthen is not what I want in gaming. See, if Sony stops dropping those great exclusives, right? Now, hold on. Let me finish now. Let me finish.
No. You ain't finishing until I finish.
But you're not letting me prove my point. You ain't letting me prove my point.
Hey, Bot, let's talk about Destiny.
This is the same thing right here that you just came up and said, right? You said that Xbox isn't giving you whatever. Okay, but you have an option. But you're still tied into PSN if you want to play games online, unless you just want to play free to play. So what to me is you're giving a double standard here.
Oh,
That's
hold on.
What I'm saying is,
Mega, you're saying that because PSN, just like Xbox Live, is a subscription service to play games online, that they've been locking us in for a long time now.
Absolutely.
And now, okay, I see what you're saying, yo.
Yeah.
They want to tie you into more shit, is what I'm saying.
But the other companies doing the same thing.
Okay, that doesn't make it any righter, Mega. I don't care if Nintendo does it, if Sony does it, I don't care who does it. It doesn't make it any better.
It's
you know
not
what I'm saying?
Change.
My thing is, if you're gonna try to do that and tie me in, give me something worth it. You know what I'm saying? To me, it ain't worth it. I'm losing out on what I was investing in your ecosystem for.
Or build you a PC.
Microsoft is no longer getting any exclusive content that makes the platform for me viable to purchase anymore, to continue to invest in that ecosystem. I no longer want to buy movies on it. I no longer want to buy peripherals for it. I no longer want to do any of that. No, I know it is. I know it is. It's my option.
It's an option to do that.
My thing is though, I am already invested.
But you're not looking at the.
I'm already invested.
You're not looking at the best. You're not looking at the benefit for gamers who can't afford to buy these games in bulk.
I see the benefit for them, Mega. I see the benefit for them, but I can't be happy that they benefit when I'm not benefiting.
How are you not benefiting?
Because they're not throwing out the product that I want. They're not throwing out the quality.
Option. You still have an option. You got what the play. You say PlayStation.
Oh, I absolutely get it from there. Definitely the PlayStation suits my needs.
Pay a subscription.
My thing is.
So I mean.
K-Mega woke up really quick, by the way.
You're not getting what I'm saying, man.
I get exactly what you're saying, but regardless of what you feel on that end about if the Xbox,
if you're gonna launch this Game Pass, if you're gonna launch this Game Pass shit, cut out Xbox Live. That's what I'm saying. Cut that shit out.
So basically, you want to cut out Xbox Live and have it just like PC, to where it's no hold barred, and you
if I'm a pay, I'd rather you charge me $120. I'd rather you charge me $120 straight up and give me access to them trash ass games, but not charge me Xbox Live.
PlayStation 3 era and see how it is by having free online services. See where that
was garbage. But it was garbage because they wanted it to be Steam. Steam is free and Steam ain't trash. Steam is free and that shit works just as good as Xbox Live. I get on Steam and talk to my boys and all that and play games for free. Same shit.
All right, check this out. We got to get
build your PC. Get on over there. Enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Well, dude, like you said,
why you taking it? Why you taking it so personal? That as a consumer, yes, you are. You basically throwing me off. You basically throwing me off. Go play over there, then. Like you kicking me out your crib and shit.
I gave you your because I'm just saying, bro. I said this was the thing. If you have
a consumer, I have the right to. I'm a consumer. As a consumer, I have the right to have these concerns, my dude.
That's fine to have those concerns. I didn't interrupt you though when you were saying what you had to say, but then you jump into my shit because I said because you that's the thing. Like I mean,
brother. Mega Knox, check this out. Now Mega, let's be real. We've been podcasting for a while. When you mentioned hey Knox, and then like that kind of invites Knox to come in and respond to you as well.
You threw me in there, so I'm coming to
he can come in right after because I was just about to be done. I was just you gave a little
guys, don't use
both Ultimate Pass and for what's called when it's all
This is gonna be a crazy show tonight, guys. This is gonna be a crazy show. Guys, don't use up all your energy for this because there are other topics that you can get heated about, man.
So
All
I
right.
mean, it is what it is.
All right, check this out. Yo, we're gonna bring Predator to the stage. Predator. People are talking about game streaming, the subscription services, and they're definitely talking doom and gloom, saying this is a real threat to the console gaming community. Do you think that that is so, or do you think that this is just kind of like an older way of thinking, kind of like what happened with digital purchases and stuff like that, beginning of this generation?
If you look like, deep into the future, your crystal ball, whatever, I could see Microsoft just as a company like this doing away with their consoles. That's just me because I've seen them do it with other products before. Zune, their fucking watch bands. Like and I don't think people really know how close. This is just again my assumption from the articles I've read, like how close they were to cutting the Xbox division out
Yeah,
completely.
no, dude. I when it comes to them cutting the Xbox out completely, people are talking about the games that they've released the past couple of years haven't been up to par. Like I also feel like people don't realize how close they were to cutting Xbox out. They slashed their budget, and Phil Spencer had to think about where was he going to put that money to begin with. So I think
Yeah.
we're living through all that, and people don't want to recognize that at all in terms of like the offerings for Xbox. But go ahead, brother.
Well, I mean, if you think about like when Satya took over, like he got rid of a lot of shit at the time he came. Whose dog is that? Um, so, like when he came in, like he basically axed a bunch of programs that Microsoft had. Like, and I can't name them off the top of my head right now, but like a lot of products they had that are gone now because of him. Like the Nokia division, for example, like they got rid of their phone division, right? So, like Groove Music, like stuff like that was cut. They trimmed the fat a lot of stuff. And I think Microsoft was on the accent block at one point in time, but they saw something there to convince them to keep it going for a little while. Although they
Phil
did cut their
Spencer
budget.
is exactly what happened, man.
Yeah,
He talked Satya into when it comes down to this game streaming and everything like that, we got to remember, like you said, Pred, Microsoft is a service corporation,
yeah.
and I can see Phil kind of like presenting this to Satya to save the Xbox division itself, man. Right?
Yeah, and like and yeah, and he did. He saved the division itself, but as far as the console goes, like I could see them like if this streaming thing takes off and you could play it on your Surface tablet, like I mean, like, and it works, like like it's working like right now. I can see them kind of trimming back on that a little bit and just making like a PC type deal or like like
Is
just getting
somebody
rid of the
ripping
box.
something
That's
in the
I think
background?
it's Knox's background. He
Yo,
dropped.
Knox, are
He
you
dropped out.
ripping up your PlayStation contract
He
or
just dropped
Xbox
out.
contract? Oh,
Um,
okay. Yeah.
But I mean, I honestly, and I know no one wants to hear that because everyone wants to. We all want consoles, I'm included. I would love to continue to buy consoles, whatever. I'll always buy a console if they're available.
Mhm.
However, if I'm playing Xbox games on my PC, and I've heard people say this before, what is the purpose of having an Xbox? Like, if I have a beefy enough PC and I can play all those exclusives on here, and I can play all those games in Game Pass, I could just get Steam, Game Pass, I'm good. Right. So like and that's the reality of the situation. So like, yeah, it's a threat. Like if the streaming thing takes off or whatever, the Game Pass, all these subscriptions and stuff that they're doing takes off, like yeah, like they could
I,
easily get rid of this damn box.
Pred, I'm hearing what you're saying, and it definitely makes a lot of sense. My whole thing is, I think that at least for now, going into the next series of hardware and possibly hardware after that or whatnot, I think the way Xbox looks at it is, from what you said, there's a game, you are a specific type of gamer within that category. If you can get Game Pass and have Steam on your computer, and it's strong enough to play whatever games that you want to play on, they're offering to you. But I also feel like when it comes down to it, they do look at the console gamer as like its own specific category as well, which is why they're coming out with a Scarlet. Like if they're gonna hit that quote unquote 2 billion people, then they are gonna do the streaming service. They are gonna have games on PC, but yet that I feel like they're still gonna have the console for the people like me who I can play games on my computer. I just don't want to. I'm not a PC gamer. I'm not dealing with that whole kind of like environment and everything. And I love just having the hardware to just pick
And
up
it's not
and
all
play.
cracked up what it used to. It's not all cracked up to what people makes it out to be. The PC, there's games that you can buy that will break and crash, and you don't have a way to get that money
Yeah.
back. You don't have the option. If there's internet problems with those games, or if those games, those developers don't put in the same work like they do on consoles. That's why I feel like consoles are still going to be around for a really long time. These are just more options. But if people don't want those options, they don't have to
They have
have
to have them. Yeah.
that's
I don't think like consoles are disappearing anytime soon. I'm just saying, like, I'm looking in the crystal ball like 10 years
Yeah.
from now. Like I'm playing Metro right now on PC with a controller. I don't play PC games on mouse keyboard because I suck at it. So I play all my games, even PUBG, I play with a controller, right? So I look at it this way: like, if I can get these games on my PC because I own one, if I can get everything that's in Steam on PC, if I can get everything in Game Pass on PC, I can get all the Microsoft exclusives on PC. I can still talk to my friends using Windows, using Xbox Live
The
on my
Xbox
PC.
app. Yeah.
Yeah, like technically going into next gen, I don't need another
No, you
Xbox.
definitely don't need it. And the thing is, like, me being like on your friends list, I won't suffer from you not being on console either, because I can still
We can
talk
still
to
play
you.
games together. Yeah.
Yeah, we can still play games together. I can still get into a party with you because what Microsoft and Xbox did, connecting the Xbox app on PC, with the console space and stuff like that. And that's why I'm trying to say I feel like they're looking at every kind of like section of gamer, and that's including the newer generation that is used to a smaller screen. And I feel like out of any of the companies out there, they have the best kind of like overall feel and overall like reach of how they're going about moving into the future. So like hearing all this doom and gloom, I can understand it, but I want people to see the bigger picture here. I mean, at the end of the day, when it comes to streaming, now Predator, correct me if I'm wrong here. When it comes to streaming, you know Microsoft, you're into the business side of things. They are about numbers, right? So if people aren't gravitating towards their streaming service and like leaving console or even PC gaming behind and stuff like that, they in turn will not leave behind the console or PC or whatever, right? They go where the numbers are, right?
Yeah, to some degree. Microsoft has a tendency to not listen to us, sometimes. So, like, even if they see those numbers, they're going to try and figure out why. That'd be the first thing to do. Like, why is this plan not working? And let's figure out a way to make it work. Because that's look at how the console generation started in 2013, right? Everything that they wanted to do, they're doing right now. Think about it. Everything that they planned on doing at the beginning of was it 2013 when the Xbox One
Yeah.
initially came out? Everything they kind of wanted to do, they're doing now. So they're patient as fuck. So they're going to get
That
their
is
way
true.
at some point in time. They're going to figure out what's wrong and fix it. And like let's get it to where we want. How do we get our gamers on board with what we're doing instead of just dumping it on us like they did in 2013? They just slowly fed it to us, and we just kept eating it. And now we're here. We're exactly where we would have been had they gotten what they wanted in 2013. So they got their way at some point in time. So like the ideal isn't to just ditch it and forget it. The ideal is to fix it and enhance it and make it like what they're trying, what their vision is. And I think they do a really good job of that because they're patient as fuck when it comes to getting what they want.
Yeah, they're
So
not patient in the beginning, like you said. They tried to dump everything out, but at the end of the day, like I think we all saw this even back in like 2013, 2014. They did a complete 180, but we're looking at the games that were the most popular, and they were all like online multiplayer games that needed to be online and stuff. So I think we even saw it back then that we were just gonna eat this slowly.
yeah,
And
Microsoft has always been ahead of the game when it comes to shit like this. Like the stuff that like that's popular now, like the Connect type shit. Like they were doing that in 2013, right? 2000 before that actually.
yeah,
Like talking to it, and then you get like what is the Google thing they have now? It's the same fucking thing,
mm,
but it didn't take off when Microsoft did it. Like I mean, like so, like they come up with these ideas, and sometimes I think they're so far ahead of the game that they don't know how to pitch it to the people, and we push back, and it sets them back from doing what we want, what they're going to do at some point in time anyway. It sets them back like 3 or 4 years. So I think at the end of the day, the consoles aren't going anywhere right now, but like think about this shit like, 10, 15 years from now and what the next iteration of console is going to be. Because I don't think we're going to have another. I think, let's put it this way: if we have another 10-year console like we did with the 360, I could see this next Xbox, if it's a 10-year thing, that will be the last one. Maybe a couple of iterations of it, like fix this, tweak that, make it smaller, that type of shit. But like, if their games as a service type stuff that they're doing, their streaming stuff they're doing is going to take off, and it's going to be a big thing with everybody, then they can easily do it with a console, or just give like a little small ass
Yeah.
fucking box, like
Yeah.
it ain't shit.
But then, like we said, I think when it comes down to it, it is up to the gamers. Like, even if they try to give you little nibble by nibble, if you're not down with it, you don't have to be in the
Yeah.
beginning. When they try to bring something new, there's always multiple options out there. You can stay away from it. If you're not about it, you can stay away from it. Like, at the end of the day, like, if the numbers don't equal out what they think it should be, you're kind of at least pushing it back further and further the more and more you don't deal with it. But huge shout out to Saltiest Gaming. What is up, my brother? And Pred, again, I think this is the same game. Like,
Yep.
they asked, what game is this that you're playing right now, brother?
Pray for the gods. It's
It is the
Steam.
same game.
Yeah, same game.
It's on Steam, people. Uh-oh. Yo, Don, what do you think about this whole kind of like doom and gloom thing? There's people out on social media when it comes to these game subscriptions that they're basically saying, they're just talking a bunch of negative about it. Do you think this is a real threat in the console gaming industry, or do you think this is just possibly kind of like old thinking and getting a little paranoid about new features that are coming out within the gaming community, man?
I think it has zero threat. Period.
I knew you were gonna say that too. Bro.
That's why I'm not. That's why I'm like, I'm not all up in arms if people are talking about stream. I recognize what it is, right? I know some people are going to gravitate to it, other people won't. Some people will want consoles. Some people are going to want their PC. It's about allowing just players to game however they want to game, and perfect example. You look at McDonald's back in the day, used to serve just burgers and fries. It's all they served, right? Eventually, they capture a bigger audience. They had to increase the menu over time, right? To whatever you got when you go in the drive-in. This is basically the gaming industry increasing the menu and then capturing as many customers as much as possible and as many different types of customers as much as possible. And yes, there are some things become more popular than others, but the way I look at like the streaming stuff, like for example, like just on the hardware front of things, they're literally taking the same hardware we're going to be able to buy next year, and they're putting it in the data center. When we're not using it as gamers for streaming or something like that, they're going to use that for the private sector, for cloud compute. They're going to make their money on that regardless, one way or another, right?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't affect it. Matter of fact, it incentivizes them to create more consoles that are run more efficient and more powerful in the future, so they continue to grow that
R&D
thing.
on the console, therefore improvement on like the
Yes.
server blades and the server farms, right?
Mm-hmm. So it goes hand in hand. They complement each other. They don't take away from one another. That's where I'm coming from.
Brother,
Now,
you said this more than once, but I think this is the first time, like, with you explaining it that way, I hear what you're saying now.
Exactly,
You know what I'm saying?
because here's the thing: what keeps from someone else to being an upcoming server farm? You have to stay ahead of the game. So there's incentive to continue to make more powerful, better, more efficient hardware. And the difference is they're just going to make that available for that customer to basically put it in a box, put it on your television, or they're going to put it in the server blade. But they're going to continue to do that. That's the reason why they're going to make another console going forward. Probably going to make another one after that and another one after that. The reality is we want the gaming, like when he says 2 billion, Phil says 2 billion. There is 2 billion, depending on how you count it. There really is 2 billion. People like to rope themselves and put themselves in like these walled gardens and say this person's not a gamer and this person is. But the harsh reality is, gamers, we all start with something, right?
Mhm.
We start with like a Mario Brothers, or we started with Legend of Zelda as a kid. And
I started with Frogger. Was my very first game ever. Frogger.
I remember I started with Kung Fu and Contra, right? Like by today's
Kung
standards,
Fu is a great game, man.
by
Yeah.
today's standards, that's a freaking cell phone game, right? So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yo, hold on, Don. My bad, brother. Let me address this dude, future kill, on in the chat, brother. You can argue your point, and I'm never gonna have an issue with that. Your opinion is your opinion. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole point. But if you're gonna like answer any of my questions and stuff, or if you're gonna rebuttal to any of the stuff that I'm putting out here, you don't need to be disrespectful in the chat. That's what I'm saying. It ain't about no sensitivity, nothing, or none of that.
Yeah, guys,
Please don't get it twisted, brother. I don't disrespect anyone. I'm not here to be disrespected. I take that seriously. You don't need to be typing "get the hell out of here" shit in your things when you answering me back. That's all I'm saying. My bad, bot.
It's all good, guys. At the end of the day, we're here to have fun. We can go back and forth and debate each other, talk about the gaming news, gaming topics. But I believe everybody in the chat, I know everybody on the panel, we're all gamers at the end of the day, and in our thoughts and our opinions, and being able to talk about them and their differences, their similarities, everything all together is going to help move an industry and a hobby that we love forward in the right direction. So yeah, no, don't just blatantly attack each other, but you can definitely debate each other and stuff like that. Remember, this is all gonna go to try to make a healthier gaming community out there.
well, sorry about that you're dealing with that, Knox. But I mean, I guess if you look at everything as a whole, I mean, those potential gamers can grow to be the gamers like we are, or want bigger experiences down the road, but they just don't really know that yet because they haven't presented those opportunities, right? So what you're doing is you're presenting opportunities, and you're a huge Game Pass person yourself, bot. You love Game Pass.
I freaking love it, man. To have all those games, $10 a month, and like I'll go in at a time where I don't know what to play, and I'll just look through the games library at Game Pass. I'll be like, oh shoot, I'll try that one real quick.
Well,
sometimes it hooks, sometimes it doesn't. You know what I mean?
And I've been streaming more, and there's a lot of people that watch my stream are very much pro Game Pass. I'm not against Game Pass. I just prefer to buy my games. That option is there, and Microsoft's not going to take it away because that's just a different business model that makes them the same amount of money, right? It just the things are shift around to get the numbers that they're looking for, right? So it's about growing the pie instead of continuously fighting over the same slices. Does that make sense? And I think that's what the future is going. I think gaming needs to be more mainstream and less of a niche thing. I think more people should be open to gaming.
I think what we're dealing with here, all right, what we're dealing with here with Game Pass subscriptions and people are talking. I think what we're dealing with is that gaming is becoming mainstream. That side street that we grew up on called console gaming has now kind of turned into like a 3-lane highway. You know what I'm saying? And you got to accommodate more people that kind of like do games differently.
Well, it's not just mainstream; it's normalizing it, right? I think we've achieved mainstream. People know what a game is. That people know what certain games are, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think what we're now getting to the point where it's a normalized thing, where like a couple will go on the weekend, they'll play a game together, right? I mean,
Supersonic said Halo Candy Crush incoming. Dude, I would play that. I would play that.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. There are going to be games like that certain developers are going to target. And that's fine. Like that's not the direction I'm going with my stuff, right? But if there's money to be had, there's money to be.
Candy Crush from you, Don?
No, you're not getting a Candy Crush from me. If you got a Candy Crush from me, it would have already released by now. So I mean, that's. But you get where I'm kind of going with that. Like I think we need to stop looking at those like walled off garden. The gaming's for everybody. There's so much diversity. There's probably more diversity in what you can do with games because it's an interactive experience versus say like movies. Like you can split it into 4 or 5 genres and that's what you got, right? Or a slight mixture of 1 or 2. So, I mean, I see this as a very positive thing for gaming, and I think people that play on a small screen will graduate to a bigger screen. I mean, the average screen size is increasing. 55 is not the norm anymore. 65 is why it's happening. That's the reason why 8K is coming about. So, I mean, what it means is there's more devices to play across the board. And if it's the same amount of pie and it was these different areas were split, I think Knox and a lot of people, I think they have very much a legitimate point. But if the pie grows, then it's kind of a non-issue.
Yo, Lady Foxfire in the chat says Don makes games. Where are they at? Where are they at, Don?
Where are they at? Well, they're not released on Xbox Live. Actually, 2 projects I've worked on have been released,
And
they're available to the public.
you can't tell us what they are, or
I don't do it because it basically tells what studio I've been working with, but I'll tell you behind the scenes.
all right, and then I'll let all you guys know after, okay? Yeah, Dark, are you there, brother?
Yeah, man, I'm here.
All right, cool. Because we had a little issue before, but dude, what do you think
Yeah.
about kind of this response we've been seeing on social media when it comes to subscriptions and game streaming? Do you think that there is an actual threat here from what everybody has been saying out there on Twitter and Facebook? And so I don't want to say everybody. There is a bunch of cool people out there that understand kind of like the broadening of the gaming industry as a whole. But do you think there's a threat there? Or do you think that this is more or less kind of like an older way of thinking coming from gamers who, let's be honest. If you were gaming on uh, anything from the beginning of the 360 era to before, there was a certain kind of idea of a gamer at that point in time. We don't have that anymore. All right, gaming has really kind of busted through the mainstream. Do you think this is maybe an older way of thinking when it comes to the evolution of gaming as a whole?
I don't think it can be a threat or anything. I think it'll be eventually maybe oversaturated with subscription services and things like that. But of course, those will whittle down and like the Don has said, and not everybody, pretty much everybody's probably going to make a subscription service or a streaming service, but not everybody's going to make it, right? So we will have some oversaturation of it eventually, I think, but I think in the long run, the ones that do it the best and give us the best content will thrive. I think it's clearly showing that with Game Pass. I think Game Pass is one of those ones that's going to thrive and continue to grow. um and not just for the Xbox community, but for everybody.
Yeah, if they keep
And that's
building
where
it
they're
the way
going.
if they constantly build it the way that they have been building it, I can't
Yeah.
it is a good deal.
Yeah, it's a fantastic deal. Think, I think a lot of people are looking at it as like, this is just, this is crazy because it's and I'm not saying everybody, and I'm not saying the majority of people, but there are some of those ones that are out there that are saying, "Oh, this is bad because this could go, what's the point of me buying an Xbox? What's the point of me, you know?" Well, that's the thing. They're basically giving you the option to say, well, you know what? If I don't want to buy a console next generation of, an Xbox console, I don't have to. And
Mhm.
I can play it on my PC, or I can play it on my Xbox One X, or I can cloud stream, I can do this, I can do that. They're giving you options to utilize for your console and for your
And,
PC.
and it's not like, hey, make a kick out of your house. You're still able to play with them, right?
Right, exactly. So I'm still able to play with all my friends. I'm still able to, you know, still able to do all those things. I mean, yeah, it kind of does suck that they're not focusing so much on the console anymore. Like, I mean, they are still a little bit, they still are focusing on the console, and like Don said, they're going to continue to try to up the power of the consoles.
Dark, you should have known that was coming, brother.
Yeah, I figured that was coming. I mean, he can't help himself. But I just feel that we're at a time where for every gamer, it's a good thing that we're getting a lot of these services, so that for me especially, I'm thinking of it this way. I save more money by having a subscription, which I can cancel at any time, as long as they continue to allow you to cancel it at any time. Don't go the Adobe route where they're like, you have to have it for a year, otherwise you're gonna have to pay the rest of the amount of the year that you didn't use it or whatever.
Oh, like a
Don't
disconnection
do
fee
that.
or something like that, man.
Right,
Yeah,
right. A disconnection
no.
It's a
fee.
it's a
Don't
contract.
right. Don't go that route. Just continue to have it where you can cancel at any time. And guess what? It's perfect. I think that's the perfect route to go. I think, especially like with Gears 5, like, I mean, I love Gears, and I'm going to continue to play those games, but I may not buy the next Gears. I may just get it in Game Pass. I don't know yet. I haven't really decided on that yet. But that's the beauty of it, is I
I was just
have
thinking
an
that it's the
option there,
beauty of options there. You can be
right?
like, man, am I going to spend
Exactly.
$60 or am
Do
I going to
especially if you don't have the money at the time, like you can be like, "Oh shoot, I don't have the money at the time, but wait, I have Game Pass."
yeah.
And I subscribed to it like, a month back for 3 months. Oh shoot, I can actually play, or some of us now are able to have Game Pass, Ultimate Game Pass, for until 3 years from now, or whatever. So when Gears 5 comes out, we're not going to have to spend that extra $60 if we don't have it at that moment. We can actually go in, play it on Game Pass, and if we do want to buy it, we can. And guess what? On Game Pass, since we do have Game Pass, we'll get a discount on the game. It's always usually like a $5 or $10 discount, so you're still gonna save some money there. I just think that it's always, it's kind of like this debating thing on Twitter where people just like to go back and forth, and it's fine and dandy. And sometimes I look at it and I just laugh. I don't really ever get into the conversations because they're just
But
so.
I can see you like sitting in your living room looking at your phone and just like laughing out loud at some of
Oh
the shit
yeah,
that's
yeah,
said,
yeah. There's a lot of them where I'm just laughing at them and just being like,
man.
you guys are crazy, man. Just it's not even that big of a deal, we're in a generation where we're able to pretty much do anything that we want on the internet, and have anything that we want at our fingertips, and eventually that'll go to pretty much everything, and I mean, on our console, they always have advertisements for games where they're like, "Hey, here's this game. One click and boom, you can buy the game right then and there." So it's just, we're in a time where we can do all that stuff.
Yeah, I
Bro,
mean, Dark. I mean, have we played together and had, for example, like you had Game Pass? I'm like, hey, come join us, play this game,
Yeah,
and then you're just like, well, I don't have that game, and then I've seen you do this before. You're like, but I got Game Pass.
right.
Like, it's like, yeah, start downloading it. We'll wait for you. And you
Exactly.
download it, you're in the game, and you're playing with us. Like that's the power of that.
Exactly.
And you and I are totally two different customers. We couldn't be any more different, right? Like you love
Oh
Game
yeah.
Pass. I love purchasing the game. I'm very much a digital purchaser versus a physical purchaser. And the funny thing is, it doesn't matter what type of customer you are, we all get to play together.
Right, exactly. And that's the point of it, is us being able to play together with our friends anywhere we want, whenever we want. That's what's wrong with that. I don't ever see the reasons as to why that's a bad thing.
you know, dude, you gave me a couple beautiful segues
Oh,
into something.
before you do that, I just wanted to say about just one point on that was that
K Meg's
it's a
gonna kill the segue right now. He's gonna
no,
kill
no,
it.
no. I'm just saying,
Nah, just
just
playing.
for, no, no, I'm just saying for
K-May has
accessibility.
got no flow.
I don't. No, not today. But it's all about accessibility, man. I mean, look,
Exactly.
I just like for a game that I was showing on Twitter that I was playing, and there were so many people that was saying, "Look, I've never played that game before. That game looks cool," or they was like, "Oh man, I was wanting to get that." With Game Pass and for whatever that these other companies are going to bring in the future, they give you the option to get those games. That
Yeah.
to me is beautiful. Like, I mean, that's what the developers want. That's what actually gamers really want. And for some of them, not everybody, but I think it's if it's just an option, if it's not forced upon you, I don't see the point of complaining about it.
Yeah, no, and
Well, isn't that the point of gaming is to have options on
Absolutely.
So I mean that's why I never got that whole options thing where people were just like,
Dark,
oh,
thank you
I have
so
too many
much.
options now.
Brother,
The Duty Boom is the shit. Is the hot shit right now. They'll change their tune pretty soon.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. I gotta fix my mic. Somebody say hi or something.
Options are always great as long as it doesn't change doesn't change the dynamic in favor of that option.
But what's changing for you, Knox?
All right. I'm
still
gonna
don't
tell you. I'm
understand.
gonna tell you what has changed for me, right? What has changed for me? Microsoft's brand, right? Xbox has always been known, right, to have their third-party exclusive deals for their exclusivity stuff that draws people to the console for those big-time games, right? If that's what you're into. That's how Microsoft always approached it.
Are you talking about this generation or last generation too?
This is their MO. This is their.
Are you talking like
their
the deal
rapport.
with like Call of Duty to have
The only
talking about
game they did that with was Call of Duty last gen, at least.
No. Guys, I'm talking about when they went, even since the old school Xbox, Ninja Gaiden, that was third party from Tecmo, exclusive to them.
Oh, okay. So I see what you're talking
You know
about.
what I'm saying? Mass Effect on the 360.
All right.
Splinter Cell on the original Xbox. What I'm saying, even Gears was epic until they bought it out. So was Halo. Everything they're known for has always come through a third party, and that was great. I didn't mind that. They've never been good at first party stuff, right? Now they've gotten rid of what to me what drew me in, that exclusive content they used to have. Besides now, of course, Gears and Halo, because I don't play Forza, so I don't benefit from that.
So you're saying the exclusive third party content they used to do last gen?
Yes, they no longer have that, right? And now, and they were never good at being a first party, right? They went and bought all these studios, right? We have to wait and see now, and they're focusing on bringing you, mediocre or old content as a service. That is all great for the people that want to take advantage of that option. I understand, but they didn't have to sacrifice what I liked it and what people that feel like me liked it for to bring that option to you. That's what I say is the issue. Let me finish real quick, right? If Sony, when they heavily invest into this, like everyone knows they are, right? Stop making God of War type games. Stop putting that quality into those games. No more Last of Us. Now you start getting just mediocre. Okay, you get Days Gone or Days Gone Light from here on in. But they are heavily pumping bullshit into their, streaming service. Is that a good deal? That's a good deal to the guy that likes the streaming stuff. But I lose out on what I like. And that's what I'm saying. You don't have to change one to offer us the other.
So you know what the future games that's out. Have you played did you play Bleeding Edge? Have you played Gears 5?
I haven't.
Okay, but I have. So
okay.
How are you going to talk about bad quality when you haven't played these games? I have.
Those games aren't out yet to the public, Mega.
But you just said that the quality was bad.
Of what they put out recently, absolutely. What they put out absolutely was lackluster.
Let's be honest. Like, if you just compare Xbox to Xbox, right? Like, from the beginning of this generation to the end of this generation, there has been a lull. I mean, let's just call it what it is.
No, that's
almost got obliterated or completely separated from Microsoft.
I don't understand.
We know the history of that. That does. I mean, that's not the point of the conversation. The point of the conversation is there a direct tie to those lows to Game Pass and that sort of thing? I don't think there is, but I can see where Knox is coming from. Yeah, so Knox is right. It's a wait and see, right? Like, they have something to prove there to him as a consumer. It's not about.
That's all it's about.
It's not about forcing him to buy a new console or anything like that. It's about proving, do do they still got what it takes to make a new franchise
To
like a
keep me,
Gears,
keep the customer
like
me
a Halo,
interested. They still got
like a Forza, or even like some of their newer stuffs, like the Sunset Overdrives,
Well,
or
see, and
some of their better titles
dude,
they've released
that
this
was
gen.
something
So,
I was gonna bring up as well.
That's
and
fair.
that's true
Knox.
third party too.
But
That's Insomniac and
I mean,
EA would tie
and
up for Respawn. That's what I'm saying.
That's
Do
fair.
what
I mean,
you're good at.
like,
Like you didn't have to stop doing those deals. Like that whole Phil Spencer shtick of we don't want to keep it off game. Stop that, bro. Get those exclusivity
well, dude,
deals.
I
it
don't-
wasn't
I-
only that. Hold on,
Knox,
Don,
I
hold on,
think that
Don,
era
Don,
of third
Don,
party's gone,
hold
man.
on, hold on,
You
hold on.
can't do
Oh,
that
I mean,
anymore, unfortunately.
well, they
Yo,
can't do it. They
Can you
choose
guys
not
hear
to.
me? Or
Yeah, go ahead, Bob. My
I'm
bad.
just wondering. Like, no, when it comes down to it, I hear what you're saying, Knox. But when it comes down to the games like Quantum Break, like Sunset Overdrive, Rise, Son of Rome, which are those they call them second party deals, which is a third party development team makes an exclusive game for a platform. It's a second party deal. The beginning of this generation, that's what it was all about. But when you look at it, like in my opinion, Sunset Overdrive was a quality game.
Nobody asked Microsoft to change that stance. Is what I'm saying.
But nobody was
Like
really
that,
supporting those games either.
Who wasn't buying Mass Effect, my dude?
I'm talking
Who
about
wasn't
this.
buying like?
Hold on, Knox. I'm not talking about Mass
That wasn't a
Effect.
first party
I'm
exclusive.
talking about Rise, Son of Rome. I'm talking about Sunset Overdrive. I'm talking about Quantum Break. All right, those are games that you were talking about. Yeah, well, you supported them, but if you look at the gaming community as a whole, let's be honest here. Those games weren't supported the way
But
that
those games weren't supported over some whole other
Because they
shit.
were not-
It's not because
those
those
were
games
not
weren't good.
Resolution.
Those
Instead
games,
of,
yes. Well, that was just
that-
the consumer being uninformed and just being
It's
misled,
kinda like
being
the same
misled by
thing what we're
propaganda.
going
You
through
know,
right now because of people making crazy ass agendas.
No. See that's where you're wrong, brother. I only go by
So you said
what I see.
the resolution war was something that made sense to anybody.
No, hell no. The resolution war was stupid, and people that miss out on game. And I just said that. I said games like Rise, games like Sunset, games like Quantum Break didn't do well, not because of a testament to their quality as a game. They didn't do well because the masses got misled by the fucking propaganda that was out there. I just said that.
Well,
but
then how do you avoid that as a company?
You don't stop offering what you're good at though because of that. You just fix it, dude. They kind of shot themselves in the foot.
Hold on. I got one more point. Mega, I got one more point real quick. All right. You look at a game like Scalebound, right? And you look at how Platinum Games took advantage of the Xbox and Microsoft money that was going in for the development of that. You put all that together, and you tell me, you tell me as a company, you don't change direction after all that was going on. The games didn't get supported, and you got taken advantage by a dev team.
Because one company that you didn't obviously properly supervise and make sure that they were coming through and doing what they were supposed to do. You can't tell these guys, here's your tea and crumpets and your lattes, and then think they're not gonna just take advantage of your ass. They are. If they had a hard hitting, look at what BioWare did, right? That's why Anthem is in the state that it's in. Until homeboy from EA went down there and put foot to ass, then they had to put some scrap together. They had to put some scrap shit together. So come on, bro. It's not Platinum's Game's fault that Microsoft dropped the ball and wasn't supervising them properly. But you don't, because one company shit the bed, you don't go and say, well, we're not doing any deals with anybody no more. That's just dumb.
Here's a hard truth.
And Sony absolutely did it. My bad, real quick. Now Sony absolutely did it this Gen 2 with games like Nihon, with games like the shit that we got now that's exclusive to us, the Senua Sacrifice game. I'm forgetting
Hellblade.
Hellblade, yeah. They did it with Hellblade. Come on, they did that too, bro. They did it with Detroit Become Human. They got third-party exclusives. It's Microsoft playing that old nicey nice nonsense. And I don't care if they did that, but we're delivering the goods. You know what I'm saying? But they're doing that just to do that whole Game Pass.
But
nonsense,
see,
bro.
well, what I'm saying here is, all right, they did switch. They switched kind of like they're thinking on that, and they invested on studios to bring in
No, you're fine.
as first party to make first party titles that will go on what we call the Xbox platform, which is xCloud, which is PC, which is the Xbox console. Like, when it comes down to it, I think we've been talking about this for like 2 years now or so. Like, they're not going to just automatically have games to shit out as soon as they become first party. It takes some
please,
time.
please don't come out of there. But that being said,
Yeah.
that second party relationship is, for the most part in the industry, is dead. 1% dead.
Well, he said Sony was doing it with like Neo. I even
Well,
think
they did
like Persona
they did it
as well.
Well, some of the Sony ones are a little bit weird because I think that's more out
Yakuza,
some of those were
Yakuza
more
as
out of
well.
convenience. But what I'm pointing out is that second party relationship thing is pretty much dead on all platforms.
Yeah, Sega said
Sony,
themselves that Yakuza
Nintendo,
exclusive for PlayStation.
Xbox, and I almost guarantee you may see a couple here and there like edge case scenarios, but I'll even say Stadia when they go live. Like, some of that stuff will be super few and far between is in comparison to what they've done in the past. I don't think independent studios are liking those deals, and it just doesn't make financial sense a lot for those guys, especially how big gaming is getting in the direction it's going.
Isn't Google getting ready to do that right now with Ubisoft?
They're gonna try.
Yeah,
we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, because
is that they know that this works. That's all I'm saying, guys. I'm not, people are like, oh, you keeping games off of it. Listen, man, I'm not on that whole, yeah, man, everybody should game. Everybody should game, then everybody should buy a console like I do. I just, when I invest into something,
that's a quote right there.
I want to see that you're still delivering the goods to me. The reason why
the problem is it doesn't
have
work
to
though.
invest beyond the Xbox One X that you have or the PC that you have. You won't have to, because those games are probably going to come to your console. Especially with Game Pass. I mean, it's not like Game Pass is gonna exclude any of those games that are coming next generation for the Scarlet.
No, not true. You right, Dark. Like, and that's what I'm saying. I will exhaust that option. To be honest, like, I won't continue investing if, and I'm never gonna sign up for like Game Pass or none of that. Not to pay religiously $9.99 a month. Absolutely not.
Right.
I'll wait. Right. And when Gears drops, I'll pay my $10 for those 30 days, and I'll basically rent Gears for $10 for 30 days. And I know Microsoft is gonna love it. I know.
And dude, I know after that $10, you're just gonna basically buy the game anyway, brother.
That's all. That I would really have to love it. I will have to want to own it.
Right,
If it does that, then I will. But what I'm saying is, I will use that option, and that isn't how Microsoft wants us to use Game Pass, right? Because if people would have just signed on to Game Pass whenever a good game dropped, right, and then get off, they're not making the money they want. They want you tied in for the year, the whole $120 plus Xbox Live.
They do, but that's the thing, that like you are going to utilize that option of just being like, I can cancel at any time. So it's not really
for all of that. Just give me the shit that I want. Give me what I became.
Well, you don't know what they're gonna. You don't.
No, I'll have to wait.
Know what they're gonna give you next generation,
Dude,
and you also don't know.
Brother, you're starting to sound like my bro Next Gen with give me what I want, and I understand that. I understand you got to think about you and your environment and your needs as a gamer,
and those who feel like me.
But I'm pretty sure Phil Spencer is not sitting up late at night like, damn, how can I make Knox happy?
Absolutely not. But he needs to say, how can I make that demographic happy? Because Knox ain't Dolo. There's probably millions.
But that's the thing.
You said
you're talking about such a small, minute amount of people.
That's not
true.
That
cannot be. That cannot be. All of that.
Knox, let me put that to rest for you. So Halo wouldn't be $1 billion franchise if it was a small number of people. Gears wouldn't be $1 billion franchise if it was a small number. Same with Forza, right? Like, these are not niche titles. These are mainstream $1 billion titles, right? So there is a huge segment of there, and I get where people are coming from if they feel like they haven't been catered to a little bit, and I you can't defend that, right? But the same token, it doesn't mean you ignore the other, right? They have to address all of it. That's the point, right? They have to address they have to get another $1 billion franchise under their belt. I mean, that's what it boils down
I
to.
think that's what the initiative
And I think they
was
know
built
that.
for.
That's the thing. They know that. So
But the thing is, so then you get games like, I love Crackdown. I am more than happy with what I paid for Crackdown. I bought it. I didn't do Game
You and
Pass.
It's a
like
great
5 other people
Crackdown
out there.
game, man.
I love Crackdown, but I also understand that Crackdown never propped up the Xbox brand.
Hit that height.
Yeah, never
yeah.
lived up to the hype. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. So some of these smaller games and the perception of Game Pass, it needs a pressure relief valve. It needs another $1 billion franchise. I mean, that's the harsh reality. I'm not going to, just because I'm happy with certain things doesn't mean I'm not going to say, hey, they don't need more. I'm a selfish gamer. It's just what it is.
Right.
I want more.
I think we're all selfish.
Yeah, and that's what it boils down to. And they got it in them. Microsoft totally has it in them. The question is, where are they going to invest?
Well, I don't
do
think
those
that's a
gamers
question. I don't think
they've
that's a
tripped up?
question
Sure.
anymore because you got a studio like the Initiative. You have Ninja Theory now, under like the first party umbrella. These are two dev teams that, when you look at the talent from the Initiative, I'm sorry, I don't care what anybody says out there. They are not making little mobile games for Game Pass. They're going in
No.
big time.
Well, and their mentality is similar to mine. I want to keep my group small, so when I get basically the nuts and bolts of what my game is, and when you bring people in, the root game of what you're developing inspires others you bring in, and I have a feeling that's what Initiative is doing. And they're like almost right now Xbox's think tank of new IP. It sounds like they're pumping out.
Well, they did
ideas
call it a
everywhere.
quadruple A, so
Well,
that makes sense.
that's the talent they're bringing in. That's for sure.
Yeah.
right.
Now, guys,
We'll see.
here's the thing. You guys have gotten it all warmed up and stuff like that. There's something I want to talk to you guys about. There's something I want to talk to the gaming community about, because there is this narrative out there that Xbox needs new AAA IP on their platform. All right, and I'll say, yeah, like, I want to experience new games and stuff like that as well. But then when they show games like Bleeding Edge, they get pushed to the side. It's like, oh no, that's not what I meant. And I started thinking about it, and I'm like, holy shit, guys, this is exactly what
and
I
I
think they mean.
And I
They
said people
want-
were wrong doing that. Yeah, that's wrong. People shouldn't do that.
Yeah, Bleeding Edge, from what I've seen, looks like an incredible game. It won an award at E3.
It won 2 awards and nominated for a 3rd.
Yeah. All right. So check this out. So for the people out there,
be at the Game Awards is basically what you're saying.
what happened?
It'll be at the Game Awards because mostly it's media that nominates all that stuff.
Yeah.
And the media
could be.
nominates
It
Game
could be.
Awards type stuff, most likely.
It was one of
Yeah.
fans.
But here's what I was trying to say. Here's what I was trying to say with that. When there are people out there who are saying that Xbox needs new AAA IP, and with that, yeah, dude, as a gamer, you always want a new high value game to get into. But the more and more I was looking into it, it's like these gamers don't want new AAA IP. What they want is Sony's blueprint for single player, heavy story, kind of like story driven narrative stuff over on the Xbox platform. That's what I'm seeing here, guys. This is something that I will go on record saying I do like the diversity that Xbox shows. It might not be up everybody's alley, but when they can take a game like the franchise Battletoads and kind of bring it up, have it be that same type of beat 'em up, but show more of a Saturday morning cartoon type animation to it, I'm down for stuff like that as well. And I think people are pushing games like Bleeding Edge and even smaller titles like Battletoads. They're pushing them to the side because I feel like they want that Sony blueprint on
But no,
Xbox,
it's not.
man.
But you know what it is, Bob. It's like Mooch says. Shout out to Mooch, right? If it was sandwiched in, it's that you're not giving those customers what they want. You're not bringing that experience, and you haven't done it for a hot minute. You haven't done it since Gears. You know what I'm saying?
And Gears is coming out, and here's another thing.
Okay, but we had to wait for another Gears to get that. That's
but hold
not,
on, here's another thing that states this as well. People push aside billion-dollar franchises like Halo, Gears, and Forza. All right, and I don't understand that.
You just answered your own question right there.
Huh?
You just answered your own question right
How?
there. Because we've gotten Halo, Gears, and Forza for the past X amount of years, and I think what you're trying to say is like we're expecting that AAA IP from the Sony blueprint. That's the wrong thought process. I think people are expecting a AAA IP period that's new.
Yes.
Dude, Ninja Theory is coming out with a 4-on-4 multiplayer game with the niche
But
of what
that's
they're
the thing.
good at.
They don't
Hold
they
on,
don't want
but hold on.
multiplayer. They want a single player experience that they can get on the Xbox. That's
I want The
the
Witcher.
biggest thing.
Damn it.
Exactly. They want The Witcher on
Yeah,
Xbox.
you're
They
talking
want
about
that.
diversity,
Well, then
but like,
stop calling it
hold
just
on,
a new
hold
AAA
on.
IP.
Hold on. You're sitting there saying you want diversity, but that's the thing that we're missing. That's part of the diversity. We don't have that in our diversity.
Right. We
And
only
that's-
have multiplayer type of games like that.
What are you talking about? Quantum Break, Sunset Overdrive. You go back to the
Yeah,
beginning,
but
Rise
those
of
those
Rome.
But
But
they're
like I
talking,
said,
but like you're
when
saying
those
about
games
they're
came
saying
out,
because those games it's been so long for those games to be
but when
out.
those games came out,
Right.
they weren't supported either.
But
What
you
was-
already know the politics behind that. It's not fair why they weren't supported. You know what I'm saying? Like that.
Exactly.
But
that,
who-
that
who
doesn't
is it
mean you
not fair
stop.
by?
But games take time to games like that.
Oh,
takes
hold on,
time.
guys. I gotta pay the bills real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
Yo, Danny and Dino, thank you, my brother, for hitting up the super chat. Yes, guys, the super chat does work. Feel free to use it, however you want to. But it says I'm with Knox. He says I'm with Knox. If I don't get AAA games, I'm not signing up for Game Pass or any other service Xbox comes up with. I'm not on Xbox for indie games. Brother, I hear you.
Thank you, my brother. That's what I'm saying. And that's what I'm saying. I know there's people that are. I know there's people that are. They enjoy indie games, right? Randall Thor's a big indie dude, right? I'm sure there's millions of people like him.
Barbie. Shout out to Randall Barbie.
Shout out to Rand. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? The thing is, the people that feel like us, like me, like the Z's, like him just now, we want to see that
But those games
joint.
take time. That's the
I
thing.
understand, but how much
understand that,
time are
but
we
like-
gonna give him? We gave him a generation.
Look, how long is this taking for?
Hold on,
for
we gave him a
Last of Us 2
generation?
came out?
Pretty much.
How did we give him a generation when
Give
we
them a
just
generation
talked
that's
about
only been a couple
the
of years.
entire first half of the generation
Right.
and what Xbox had to offer, and you're like, well, gaming media and
When-
stuff twisted the community, and that's why they
I
didn't
mean,
support it. That's
it's
in the
a-
end,
it's a-
that's not an
But
excuse.
is it true? Is it true, Bot?
Look
But
how
in
long.
the end, it's not an excuse. You don't want any excuses.
It's not an excuse. So you saying you justify you're gonna justify that Microsoft should stop putting
Did I
out
say that?
quality games
Did I say that?
because the media shitted on them and the games
No,
weren't
no.
supported?
What I feel like. Hold
Quality
on, my
games
bad.
bullshit because
Next-
that look a good no hold on wait now this is bullshit.
Yes, me though, brother.
I know,
You know what I'm saying?
but he's been saying this and that's that bullshit rhetoric that needs to be nipped in the bud. A quality game just because it has a AAA behind it doesn't mean that it's always quality. A good game is a good fucking game. Period. You know what I'm saying? Ori and the Blind Forest, good quality game, wins awards. Forza, that could be considered a AAA. But other games out there that's made on all these other systems.
But what's the point? I don't get your point, Megan.
Well, if you fucking listen, then please.
No, you're not making your point, bro.
I make my point. A quality game, bro. A quality game doesn't have to have a AAA stamp behind it.
Nobody said that.
You just did say that. You said
when did I say that?
You said quality. You said they have to be quality AAA games that are AAAs. That means quality. No, that doesn't. A good game is a good game.
I didn't say that, bro. You bugging. I said that games like Rise and Sunset Overdrive and Quantum Break didn't fare well because the media was hate. I said that too, and you just kept interrupting me saying that I was making shit that I was saying other shit I ain't say.
Yeah, no,
you know what I'm saying?
You said it. I mean, people can go back and listen to it.
All right. All I'm saying is I want that experience that I'm looking for, that AAA experience. That's what I'm looking for, not indies. That was the other point prior to this, right? Before Bot was going to say, so I even forgot what the hell we were talking about. Right,
I was talking about when people are talking about they need new AAA IP. They're not really talking about new AAA IP because they're pushing away games like Bleeding Edge, pushing them to the side. That's not what I want. And then they're pushing away billion-dollar franchises like Gears Halo and Forza as well. And what I'm saying is what people are actually these people out there what they actually want is Sony's blueprint over on the Xbox platform. And I will go on
I don't
record
think
and
that's
say
necessarily
I
the
don't
case
Dude.
there,
want
Bob.
that.
My dude, let me tell you something. If Microsoft would have come correct at this E3 and wowed us with some new Gears of War gameplay, they could have talked about that whatever Stone imitation game that's coming out that y'all so hyped about, right? They could have talked about that and people would have received it well. Had that Master Chief, that Infinite trailer that they said they had to make this powerful rig to run it because the X wouldn't do it any justice, that didn't look like some shit the X couldn't handle. That was not impressive like that.
Actually,
You know what I'm saying? If they would have showed some hot shit behind that and Gears and brought in that other game, everybody would have been cool. Everybody would have been cool.
Next gen's not for Knox. I can tell you right now. Doesn't matter what platform.
dude, I can see.
I don't think you're gonna be happy, buddy.
I could see the next gen in Halo Infinite's trailer. I could. The art style you might not have liked. A lot of people out there are kind of indifferent on the art style. But you look at everything. You look at the lighting and all that good stuff that is going on in that.
I never said it was bad. I said it didn't look like something the X could handle. I said he made it a point. That didn't look like they needed to get a powerful Scarlet Simulator rig to run it. They could have shown that same shit on the X, and it would have been just as it would have been more impressive knowing that the X was actually doing it.
Yeah, but you know I don't think it wouldn't have looked the same, dude. It would not have looked the same. No, it wouldn't have, man. Yo, Don, can you chime in on this?
Yeah, go ahead, Don.
Yeah, they would have had to cut back on things for sure. But that's the thing I was kind of joking around with Knox is I don't think next gen's for you because that's kind of what you're going to be getting going forward. I'm telling you. That's what I've been trying to warn people is next gen is going to be more like what we saw in the Halo Infinite trailer. It's definitely better. I mean, I can go through step by frame and tell you where it's better, but some people are just not going to pick up on it. You need a substantial amount of more power to get. We're in this weird diminishing return time right now, right? Where we're close to getting everything that, like, say, movie special effect can get, right? But you have to go exponentially more power to get that little bit of difference.
I will go as far as to say in graphical quality. I remember Knox. You remember Ghost of Tsushima when they first showed that, and we were like, "Yo, there's no way that's on the PS4."
Yes.
All right.
And we said that about The Last of Us, and that was another thing I said. Damn, those games made me feel like that. How the hell Infinite didn't? And that's another thing.
I will say graphically, those are on par, if not Halo Infinite actually being better. It's not exactly like what you're seeing because they showed the outside scene in Ghost of Tsushima. You saw a lot of stuff going around. You didn't see a lot of that in Halo Infinite. You were trapped within a little space on a spaceship. All right, and again, I feel like the reason why they did that, it's kind of tradition when they're coming out with a new Halo to show the scene where Master Chief comes out because it's always a new thing of armor and stuff like that. I think they were just following tradition when it comes to what they showed with that Halo Infinite trailer. That's what I'm saying. But I don't know, yo Predator, you've been kind of quiet. We've been kind of loud. It's almost the usual thing there. But Pred, what do you think about my theory here? When it comes to people are asking for new AAA IP on Xbox, but then they push away Bleeding Edge, and I feel it's because of the fact that they don't necessarily want that new AAA IP, but they want that single player heavy story narrative that has become that Sony blueprint. And they can show any type of multiplayer this or any type of new game and stuff. If it's not that single player heavy emotional story driven narrative that has been all over the Sony platform, people are just going to shun it anyway.
I still think you're wrong in that assessment. Keep in mind,
Bleeding Edge was chime in earlier, but I'm calling on you now. Okay?
Yeah, Bleeding Edge was being created before Microsoft bought that company for starters. So like that game was going to come out under that umbrella regardless or not. It's just it got the fast track when Microsoft purchased that company. So like that's one thing. Like I think when that statement you were making, like people want AAA IPs, they want the blueprint, blah blah blah. I don't think that's the correct assessment. I think what it is the second half of this generation, we were being pushed. pretty much all this generation, it's been power, right? So like, and I think I said this either last night on GRG or maybe it was on Craft's channel, right? Like, it isn't the fact that we want AAA IPs with the blueprint of Sony. I think it's we want AAA IPs that actually take use of the power of the box that we just spent $500 on. And none of the stuff that they showed me besides Gears, and I'm gonna preface that again, besides Gears and Forza and even Halo, are showing us that. Everything else, Microsoft.
What from again? I will bring this game up again because I am actually hyped about it, and obviously people at E3 were hyped about it as well. What about Bleeding Edge is not
Bleeding
showing...
Edge is not a Microsoft game. It was made by the company before Microsoft bought them. Stop throwing that shit out there. That game was being created.
So you're saying they didn't create it with the idea of the hardware that it's coming out on, like, in mind? Is what
Do you
you're
think
saying?
that game is like, okay, let's put it this way. Look at take Bleeding Edge out of your mouth for a second, all right?
I'll try. It's been hard.
Look at every game that Microsoft has put out this generation. Sea of Thieves, right?
Which is absolutely gorgeous. That shows the power of the system.
They're not all graphical fucking powerhouses. Now, I like the water and Sea of Thieves, but like every game isn't like we want fucking hardcore graphics.
Brother,
to look realistic.
what about Sea of Thieves does not show the power of the system?
The graphics, the animation, the character models. Like it looks like. To me, like if I look at that game, it looks like without taking out the physics and stuff like that, or the water, like I could probably play a game on a Switch.
But you can't take that stuff out. It's in the game.
I can take it out because, okay, aesthetically, looking at the character models in that game, it's not showing me power. Like,
well, here's what you can do. You can run it on your PC, with 2080 Ti, run it on the hardest settings on there. I guarantee you'll bring your PC to a halt. Like
I played Sea of Thieves on my PC. I mean, it looks good for what it does, but but
that's not a fair assessment, right? Like you're talking about something different. I know what you're trying to get at, right? It's not that.
Rob, we're talking about
it's the perception of the art style.
Yeah, it's a perception thing, right?
It doesn't scream out that.
That's what I'm trying to get at. Like didn't do that. Sea of Thieves didn't do that.
But it is impressive.
How it looks at it now. That's what it sounds like what Fred's saying. If it looked like Skull and Bones, then it would maybe look like it utilized the power of the
every single nook and cranny of the console. But like when I look at the games, if I just look at the games that I'm seeing, I'm not seeing power from my first look at the game. Take out like playing it, just look at it. Just look at it from like a screenshot of it. Like you're like looking at it like, this looks like I could be playing on a Switch, you know. But like that's what I see with in the games they produce this generation. Again, with the exception of Crackdown and not Crackdown, but Gears and Forza, like they're not screaming that. If I look at screenshots from screenshots, it's not screaming like there's a lot of power here. It's just screaming like it doesn't give me that look that I'm looking for. Like, dude, I would love to see every game.
Take a screenshot of a sunset while you're on the beach with a storm on your left hand side, all that good stuff. That screams graphical power to me.
It doesn't. I mean, when you take that game and then you compare it, like even State of Decay, I know you guys love that game, but like it wasn't graphically like if you just look at a fucking picture of that game, like I could take screenshots of that game, like what the fuck, man? Like it looks bad to me. It doesn't look like it screams like I took a lot of time to, like Rise. Look at Rise. That game looked like it used a lot of fucking power.
Yeah, Rise looked dope. You knew you wanted to play that when you saw it.
When I saw it, I was like, I want to play the game. When I saw Sea of Thieves, I'm like, what the fuck is this? It's like a cartoon.
Yeah, I feel you.
You see what I'm saying? Like, there's a big difference.
What I'm trying to say here, like, I hear what you're saying, and you're saying more realistic graphics are what is going to show kind of like the power of the system. And there are gamers out there who see it that way. I see it more as when you put everything together. The lighting situation, how they're doing the lighting, how the water is looking realistic, even the cartoony nature of the islands and stuff like that. I still look at that as graphical power because at the end of the day, it still is graphical power.
It is.
Yeah. It's just that if you don't like cartoony games and you think that they show like a weak look at the game, then that is your own personal opinion.
And that's what I'm saying about that. It's back to back. Like that's what I'm saying. Like it's not that. It's that people that want that experience aren't getting it. That's all.
Like you said, you say diversity, but like you're getting those games like Sea of Thieves. You're getting those games like, but like Where is our like, oh shit, these characters look no shit real. Besides Gears.
It's coming in. Well, no, you can't say besides Gears.
Because we've
man.
got Gears like we've got 50 copies of Gears. We want
Dude,
a new fucking IP.
How many
We
got
haven't had a new
yours?
fucking IP announcement
No,
in goddamn like what 8 years?
Oh, listen.
I hear you on
Come
that.
on,
All right,
man.
I
Get
hear
real.
you on that. But you also got to take into effect that when it came to State of Decay, when it came to Crackdown and stuff like that, they were in development during the lowest time of the Xbox division when their budget was absolutely slashed, and they were probably getting hardly any money to develop those games. So they came out and they came out like State of Decay. I'll give you subpar. Crackdown, I enjoyed Crackdown, but I can see other people not liking it. All right, but when it comes down to the newer studios, all right, Ninja Theory wanted to make this game that I can't mention right now, and it looks awesome to me. But not only that, they are also working on a single player game that will be shown down the road. All right, when we look
Oh, so you're
at
saying wait
this,
till E3. Is that what you're trying to say?
dude, I said wait till E3 for I don't know. Why do you think I before E3 2019, I'm like, I'm going to the one in 2020. I automatically said that. Because
So
go ahead.
so we can move on to the next person. So like you say that wait to E3, but we had this E3 and they could have shown
There
something.
were things they absolutely dropped the ball on.
Then,
Gameplay.
We wouldn't even be having this conversation right now. had they
then
done
your
that.
man comes out and says, "I'm more excited about what we didn't show." That's just like a smack in the face to your consumer,
Yeah,
bro.
we're literally a smack.
Come
in the
on, you
face.
don't do that
Oh,
stupid.
shit.
That's the type of shit I'm saying with Microsoft, bro. That's some bullshit.
And
I
then
got
you, then you ask a question like that, like you just asked for this topic, and that's the exact reason why. Because they have shit to show. Show it. And these conversations
Well,
would be
dude,
happening
and
right
and
now.
I also, Craig, I've gone on record time and time again that I said that, when Phil Spencer's whole ideology of I'm only going to show throughout this length of time or whatever, I don't believe in that. I feel like they need to tease people what's coming on.
No, they
like
tease
2,
us. They
3
tease us with
years.
Gears and fucking Halo, but they ain't tease us with nothing else new.
I got you, brother. I got you. Dark, did you chime in on this subject, man? I can't
Not
remember.
really. I mean, I just kind of I was gonna make some points, but then I got interrupted
No, you didn't.
by Knox. So
Yo,
fine.
hey,
Um,
you got interrupted by everybody. What are you talking about?
no, I'm just kidding, Knox. And it's all up, brother.
My bad,
I
my
think
bad.
no, it's all
Knox
good,
is
dude.
like, am
No
I gonna have
worries.
to pay somebody a visit in Cali?
No, I
Talking
mean,
shit?
no. Knox is heated tonight. I like it though, because it gives me a chance to
Dude,
just be calm
when
tonight.
I saw
It's
the
great.
topics, I knew there was gonna be a fire lit on tonight's show. I really did.
Oh yeah, you even said it before we even
Dude, I
started. There
told
was
you
gonna be
before we
a
went on,
yeah.
before we went live. I was like, this is gonna be a crazy show tonight, man. So guys,
Yeah.
hold on. Out there in the chat, if you like the show tonight, what are you waiting for? Hit that thumbs up button. Share this out on social media. Let people know that we are going in tonight on next podcast. And of course, if you haven't subscribed, definitely subscribe. Go ahead, Dark. You like how I did
Yeah,
that?
man.
I
I
threw
mean,
that in there, man.
yeah, I do. I like that the kind of segue into me. Um, here's the thing. We tout about getting AAA, these AAA IPs, and I see what you're saying, Bot, with Bleeding Edge and the fact that we're with Gears, and a lot of people are counting that out. Bleeding Edge for me isn't a game I'm interested in, but I see the potential and I see what people are wanting from Microsoft, and and you got to realize that like most of the Microsoft's fans and most of the people that play on Xbox are multiplayer heavy driven gamers. They really are. At least in my circles. I don't know about on Twitter or whatever, but in my circles, people I talk to, the people that I hang out with, most of them do play on Xbox, and they're mostly multiplayer gamers. They play a lot of The Division. They play a lot of things like that. And
Destiny.
most of the people that I've talked to, they're excited for Bleeding Edge. They're absolutely excited for it
Nice.
because it's another multiplayer game for them to play. Is it my thing? Is it something that I'm going to play? Hell no. But
You're
that's
not even
just
gonna
me
try it,
because
brother.
I may try it. I mean, it's
you
gonna
got
go
Game
to Game
Pass,
Pass.
right?
Of
Yeah.
course, I'll probably try it. You
All
know
right.
me. I got Game Pass. Of course, I'm gonna try it. You know, it's there. It's there. I'm gonna
I got
try
that
it.
subscription. Okay, yeah, of course
I
I'm
got
gonna
that
try
subscription. What am I gonna tell you? You know, uh,
it.
I have all that stuff. So it's just kind of like, yeah, of course I'm gonna try it. And of course, I'll probably go in and play with the Don and Mega and stuff because most of the time that's only whoever I get to play with because Xbox never on or Nox he's off doing something in Destiny or something like that. So
Getting mad at
I'll have to play with
Crucible.
those guys.
Yeah.
Or Pred's on his PC playing some fucking weird game that I don't even know about. But at the end of the day, I understand where a lot of gamers are coming from when they say they want that AAA IP. They want that next big thing that's gonna really show off the power and the I think really graphically, what's going to really show that this is the next level of Xbox's IP. What they want to see something, and I don't necessarily think it's along the lines of PlayStation. I think it's more people see what PlayStation is doing, and they're like, why can't we get something like that graphically or story
Dude,
wise
all I see,
on an Xbox game?
PlayStation doing is a wash, rinse, and repeat when it comes to their bigger first party titles. They're all
In
third
terms of
person.
in terms of aesthetic, yes, I agree
And
with you
dude,
on
that
that.
bores the hell out of me, huh?
Right, but that's the thing. I think if you're gonna have that kind of aesthetic, but you're also gonna have good graphics and you're also gonna have a great story, that really draws people in. And I think that's why there's a lot of PlayStation gamers out there, is because they like that kind of thing. They like story driven content. And of course Sony's going to continue to bring them that because nobody's complaining and nobody's saying, "Oh, I don't want that." And I feel like, Xbox and
I
Phil
don't
Spencer, I
complain.
think
I don't
he
complain. I just
is
do.
I
I
think
just
he's
did
thinking
exactly what I would do. I don't get on. I don't get on Twitter and I don't start
right,
complaining about everything. I just sold my PS4. Is
right.
what I did.
And neither do I. I don't complain about everything either. I just kind of sit there and just look at it like, oh, okay, yeah, whatever. You know, it with I think what Phil Spencer is thinking about is he's thinking about what's best for Xbox and what's going to really bring Xbox to the forefront of gaming next gen and for the future of Xbox. And so he's thinking to himself, what games are really gonna strive in the next generation of consoles? Well, for the most part, what have they always been really good at? Multiplayer types of games, right?
Mm.
So why not stick to a lot of that, right? But I see where the gamers are coming from, where they're like, we want that one IP or two IPs that are gonna be that single player experience that Sony's given their gamers. Right, but are those really going to sell? Time will tell.
Mm.
So, will we get that? Maybe. I don't know.
Dude,
And
I
none of us
believe
do.
there are more single player experience coming on down the road. I just hope that they don't
Right.
follow that same blueprint that PlayStation did. I know it's been quote unquote successful this generation, but I like
Yeah.
diversity. I like having first person shooters mixed in with third person kind of like story driven with
But I think
multiplayer.
You
but I think
like
you
playing
you
on
like
Xbox,
more
dog. That's
multiplayer
it.
though.
You like playing on Xbox. It's
But no,
okay.
hold
I
on. He
It's
he
okay
also
to
likes
say
he
it.
also but that's the thing. He also likes a lot of multiplayer games, right?
You don't gotta hate
So
PlayStation.
you're gonna be playing on Xbox more because of the fact that Xbox is really great at giving you that multiplayer content.
Mm.
PlayStation, not so
different?
much.
But dark. What different multiplayer content you getting besides of course the Gears and Halo? What other multiplayer you cannot get on PlayStation?
There's a plenty of indies
Why
out there that you can
why
play
does
on
it have to
Xbox that you
be
can't
like
play
Because
on
you guys are
PlayStation.
acting like you can't play multiplayer games on PlayStation. That's just ridiculous.
No, I'm
you
not
only got
saying that,
Halo.
Knox.
You
I
only
didn't
got
say that at
Halo
all.
and No. I'm not saying
Dude,
you,
I didn't
dog.
say that
I'm
at
not saying
all.
you. I'm not saying you, brother. I'm saying like that's the general mindset out there, right? Like because Bot said, "Hey, it was simple. I just sold my my PlayStation."
Yeah.
How invested were you in that PlayStation? Did you buy movies on
Well,
it?
'cause
Did
he
you have
didn't
other content
get-
on it? No. So it's not the same decision to make easily as somebody like me that I've been invested since the 360. I got a bunch of backwards compact games. I got a bunch of shit I'm invested.
First off, I don't even know why you're
so I-
buying movies on Xbox because they're gonna look like shit anyways.
Oh,
You
they
might as
look
well
fucking
just
great.
buy physical.
They
You
look
might as
great
well
for me.
buy
Yeah,
buy a physical.
I do tend to get them physical more often than not, but I do got quite a few, bro. I got a few though. I got quite a few.
Just
I
connect
have
that
like-
stuff
I
to
have
ultraviolet and you're good.
I have
I-
one, and that's
Or whatever that
Captain
service
America
is.
Civil War, and it looks
Ultraviolet.
like it's
so
shitty. It doesn't play.
So it's not that easy to just say, hey, you know what? I'll just go to PlayStation. It ain't that easy. Why is Microsoft changing their formula? From my perspective, I'm talking, of course. Why are they changing their formula?
Because
Why?
they see where the future is going, dude.
And if
you gotta understand
ultimately,
where
if they
the
give me
future
no
is
choice,
going.
I will.
And it may not be for you.
Take an L.
And it's probably not for you. So there's other options for you to go somewhere else.
You're
But
right.
you're still gonna be able to play with us. You're still gonna be able to be in the part of the ecosystem no matter what. Anyways.
All right,
So
guys.
there's really no fighting there. You're gonna have your games on another console, but you're still gonna be able to play with us Xbox gamers or vice versa.
All right, check this out, guys. Like, we gotta move on to another topic. I think it's something that's really important. Something that
Don doesn't get a turn.
No, Don doesn't get a turn. No, Don, do you have anything to chime in on this one, brother?
What's the subject again?
About
Next subject. That's your cue to go to the next topic.
yeah. Next topic. Guys, if you want to
No, I know the subject. Come on. Oh man, you
what-
gonna be like that?
Well, dude,
Aw.
all right. You're gonna make me change the title for the show, man. Because
Is my name gonna be in the title?
No, not at all.
Okay.
No, Don.
Why do you have to change it then?
Don, do you have any thoughts on the previous topic, the topic now, before I move on?
No, I think here's the thing.
I hit the nail on the head. You're right. I did.
Here's the thing.
100%
I
accurate.
don't discredit Halo. I don't discredit Gears. I don't discredit Forza from their library games. I don't think that's looking at it fairly, and I don't think that's going to get you a voice that's going to be listened to be honest with you. I think that's just nonsense at a certain point. I also look at the AA and AAA games that they've released, and some of them I've liked on the AAA side, and some of them I liked on the AA side. That being said, they haven't given us a franchise that they're committed to this generation that's new, and that is something missing in Xbox portfolio. They're not using realistic shaders. They're not using high resolution textures. There's a perception that uses more power sometimes. In some cases it does. In some cases it doesn't. Depends on how the game is built.
I am sorry, but Sea of Thieves is a graphical powerhouse, man.
The Sea of Thieves is a good looking game, but and I understand where Pred's coming from, but it's not based on a truth. It's a perception, right?
Yeah.
And so I get where he's coming from. So people want material-based shaders. People want high-resolution textures. And I mean, this is called what it is. That's what they're really are looking for. When people are complaining about the games, they're looking for those things. But I think ultimately, at the end of the day, we want something new. And I want something story-based too. I don't want them copying what Sony's doing. I want Microsoft to do their thing.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. Because I feel they're going to do their best when they do their thing instead of copying somebody else. Because usually I think when you try to copy it, just kind of shows through. So, I mean, that's kind of where I'm at. I feel like that is something I missed out on this generation. And I'll be honest with you. But I liked Rise. I don't discount Rise. I don't discount Sunset Overdrive as games I like. I like, I would love the sequel to Rise. I know that's next to a difficult to probably never happen sort of thing.
Yeah.
But that is kind of like what I would like additional from being on the Xbox platform. In regards to that. And that being said, too, I mean, if I look at competing platforms, if I looked at Sony, I would like them to mess around more in the multiplayer space. I mean, I'm not saying it to discredit them. I'm just saying,
what you would
I would
like personally, because that's
yeah, I would like. I
That
would
would be
like.
nice,
Yeah,
actually, to be honest.
I would like that additionally. I'm not knocking on them. I'm just saying I would like that additionally. It goes both ways. I would like the fact that maybe some of their single player games don't all try to copy Naughty Dog. Be more them than.
Thank you.
Because here's the thing: the games I like the most.
That's great. That would be awesome.
The games I like most on the PlayStation are the ones that didn't try to copy Naughty Dog's as much, right? And it doesn't mean those other games are not good, and it doesn't mean you should discredit all those games and get them off the platform. No. I just there's an area where that platform can improve, and I really would like to see that from them too. Yeah, well, I'm saying as a fan of
what
Sony
one was
as well
that you liked? Which one?
I liked Horizon. I liked Horizon Zero Dawn. I liked Spider-Man. Those I liked. I know I'm gonna get hate. God of War didn't resonate with me. If they did it as a new franchise and maybe didn't have the kid, I think I would have bought more into it. But that's why a lot of people like it. So don't do it. Don't do it for me, right? Because a lot of people like that franchise and like that game. So sometimes I just have to realize, hey, sometimes a game is not for me. And there's a greater good, which is the rest of the audiences out there. So I'm saying, like, I there's things I would like PlayStation to do. I don't feel like I got a good multiplayer game from Sony this generation, and I felt like I got a lot of the same, but a lot of the same, and I wanted that to improve on that platform,
but different.
But still the same.
Exactly, and the same thing on Microsoft too. Like, there's things I want from them too. So I mean, at the end of this generation, there are things that I'm disappointed because these are the platform providers. They're the pinnacle of what the industry can do, right?
Don, check this out.
We need new IPs.
Real quick, Don. Like,
hey,
you remember me? You remember me talking about Ninja Theory, like with backwards compatibility?
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, damn, they need to bring Kung Fu Chaos, make it backwards compatible. And I think you could remember me saying, I hope there's a sequel to Kung Fu Chaos. You can see why I'm excited about Bleeding Edge, right? Because
yeah, you got your Kung Fu Chaos and Power Stone, and I'm curious about the game. I'm not discrediting the game either.
Power Stone.
Yeah.
Yobi, what is up, bro?
What is up, bro? I finally made it home. Jesus,
chilling, brother. It was if you can make it, it's all good. And I hope you didn't because I hear there's crazy wildlife down there in Florida. I hope you didn't hit an owl with your car or anything like that. Driving.
No. I caught a lift phone, so I made it. Goddamn it, I made it.
All right, brother. Now, I'm gonna let you chime in on what we were just talking about. For people who don't know, Yobi Dren is here on the panel tonight. Yobi,
what up, folks?
We were talking about people claiming that we want new AAA IP on the Xbox platform. But then when it comes to games like yes, Predator, I'm gonna say the game's name again, Bleeding Edge, they kind of push it to the side and say, well, that's not what we want. And the more I thought about it, it's like, well, I'm thinking what they want then is Sony's blueprint, like over on the Xbox platform, the heavy single player, heavy emotional, like story narrative, third person, all that good stuff. But they want that over on the Xbox platform. What do you think about that? And is that something that you want on Xbox as well?
I want more AAAs. I want more original IPs announced. It's like what's his name said. We haven't had an original IP in like what? About 6, 7, 8 years.
Yeah.
Oh,
so it's a long time coming. I also believe that the initiative.
Well, technically,
picking up all those guys from
is a AAA IP and it's a new game. So yeah,
well, it was announced in like 2014, though, wasn't it?
Right. But I see how they doing with the initiative, how they grabbing a whole bunch of people from Sony who worked on God of War and this and that. So I would love. I want new IPs because let's be honest, Microsoft dropped the ball this generation on the original IPs, but I think next year is shaping up to be something good.
All right, all right. Well, guys, do you think we have time for one more topic before we sign off here?
Oh, is this
As
the
long as
touchy
not
one?
everybody interrupts each other, then yeah, we'll have
Well,
enough time
there's
for
no
one more topic.
guarantee on this show about that. So, guys,
I know,
I
I
want
know.
to talk about Xbox Live and Xbox basically saying that they are going to police Xbox Live in terms of hate speech, certain kind of like negative language and stuff like that. And I know there's a lot of people who are riled up on social media talking about freedom of speech and all this good stuff. Phil Spencer came out and said, well, technically, Xbox Live is not a freedom of speech platform. It's a platform that they own, they run. Of course, you guys, people who are involved in Xbox Live and play multiplayer are paying for the service, but they also feel like it's their priority not only to make the person welcome who might be talking about a shit in a game, but to make the other people welcome who don't necessarily do that, but get turned off about playing games because you have that 12, 13-year-old who had sex with your mom like 20 times when you're playing Call of Duty.
I don't know how you play Call of Duty, but you're apparently
Yeah,
doing
I
it
was like
wrong.
gonna say.
Yobi, what do you think about Xbox kind of like going in and I think they're threatening on possibly banning people for kind of like really gratuitous language interaction with other gamers and stuff like that. Do you believe in the whole freedom of speech aspect, or
I believe. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
do you think that they should go in and try to make the environment I guess you could say a little bit better for a wider range of gamers, man?
I feel like two things. One, I feel like they should do both, but at the same time, I feel like they should only police it around people who got multiple strikes on their profile as being reported and stuff.
I think that's what they're gonna do anyway.
And I feel like I feel like kids, especially like 12, like between 8 or between 6 and 12, 13, I think they should come up with a matching system that only match kids with kids that's under 18, and and another matching system where they can match adults who's 20 years older, 20 years older and up. I feel like that they should make two systems like that, so you could police who you need to police who got multiple strikes on their profile. So that way, our way of talking shit to each other while you're playing with your best friends online won't come under scrutiny.
Yeah. Now, shout out to Mr.
I hope I made sense.
Yeah, no, and I'm definitely going to chime in. It's just Mr. Goodcat in the chat says it's not about trash talking or name calling. It's about bigoted and prejudiced language, and their right to take a stance. There should be no place for that kind of thing in gaming. In all actuality, Mr. Goodcat, there shouldn't be a place for that anywhere in society.
Not at the dentist office.
It's no. It's a society issue when it comes to that stuff. Now,
well, I just want to be clear.
No,
it's not okay. It's kind of like I will not eat green eggs, ham here or there. It's not okay to be this anywhere.
Just
not
make
in the
sure
box.
you guys don't
box.
go to the dentist office that Don goes
Don,
to.
I just want to let you know. I want to reiterate. Nowhere, Don.
Okay.
Nowhere.
I just sometimes people misread you, and I just want to make sure it's clear that we got all our bases covered.
Now, see, Yobi, I obviously you've thought about this a little bit, so
I really have.
But I think the whole thing, I think it's a really cool idea when you first talked about kind of like age separation. But I also think that that affects kind of like active users and stuff like that when it comes to developers and quite possibly could affect the longevity of the game as well. Not having everybody kind of grouped in together. I don't know. I think that could be an issue, but you do know, like, for the people who are talking about freedom of speech, do you feel like that is a viable kind of like argument in this situation? To talk like Mr. Goodcat said, with bigoted and prejudiced language to other people.
I mean, everyone. Let's be honest.
It's a
Everyone
tough
have their
subject, man.
yeah. It is. Everyone has their right to exercise their freedom of speech, but at the same time, when assholes kind of exercise that freedom of speech to do that, it could go many ways. 'Cause people will say, oh, I can say what the hell I want. Yes, you can say what the hell you want, but you honestly you really can't, because you could get out of line and say something. You could say
Say something to the
something
wrong
horrible.
person, and they're gonna fucking find
Yeah,
you, man.
yes. Say something racist, or say something, anything like bigotry, anything, and that shit can make a turn for the worse. Like it could go to the point where people will report your profile, or it could go to a point where that person can actually find out where you live and fuck you up. You know what I'm saying? So they can exercise their freedom of speech, but that shit can go left like quickly. So that's kind of a touchy area.
I'm just wondering how they're exactly gonna do that, because even if it's like kind of like people reporting, you know the deal, like say crap gamer, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's people who absolutely love,
Shout out to Crap Gamer.
yeah, people who absolutely love our brother Crap, but then there's
That's my
also
guy.
people who
Who hate him.
hate him. So what's to stop them from reporting him constantly, him getting that reputation, and
Mhm.
getting kicked off of online? Like I think
That would be some bullshit.
well, this has been a problem when it comes to kind of like policing the online gaming community anyway.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying?
Don't you see
I
that
hear you.
that example on YouTube already right now?
Yeah,
With,
exactly.
with
So
people like, yeah.
so my concern about this isn't necessarily freedom of speech. Yes, I feel like everybody has the right to say what they want, and I feel like if they're gonna come out and talk about, say racist things, say
Uh-huh.
downright egregious things to other people because of anything about them, whether it's race, religion,
Mhm.
gender, and stuff like that, they're just showing the type of person that they are personally.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But
I hear you.
I don't necessarily have confidence that whatever they decide to do in kind of like monitoring the situation
Mhm.
is
Can I
gonna be foolproof.
ask a real quick question?
What's up,
Go ahead.
brother?
Can I ask a real quick question?
Yeah, what's
Yes.
Are we talking about in party chat, or are we talking about in just game chat?
game
It could
chat?
be anything actually.
Really? Are they gonna?
So,
how are they
okay,
gonna monitor our
if-
party
So
chat?
well, someone can
if it's
report
party
you
chat,
in
then
someone can report you in a party chat. There's
Oh,
no
that's true.
that
restriction
is
from
true.
that.
But
So
but that's the thing. Like, are we gonna start policing that? Because I mean, most of the time, I think we're mostly playing with our friends when we're in party chats.
Facts.
Yeah, dude. Even when I play Destiny, like I play multiplayer and stuff like that. If I'm
Mhm.
going solo and just running with randos, I don't even have my headset plugged into my controller.
Yeah, neither do I.
I'm just
Right.
running. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I think it's a touchy subject though. Yo, Mega, do you want to chime in on this? What do you think about this? Is there a freedom of speech aspect here? And like, what do you think about like the competency to actually police something like Xbox Live? In a foolproof way, as opposed to people finding a way to get maybe their not so favorite YouTuber off a gaming platform.
Mhm.
I don't know about the whole YouTuber thing. I just standpoint of look, I get tired of getting called a nigger. You know what I'm saying? That
Yeah.
it gets on my fucking nerves.
Facts, bro.
Yeah, that's
I see some of these motherfuckers. I'm gonna put them hands on their ass.
They
That's-
won't keep the same energy though, bro. You know that.
See, that's the thing, and I get tired of the bullshit of when people, and that's been all the way from when I started doing on Xbox Live.
Mhm.
From, what I'm saying, from like 2010, 2011, whatever. When I got heavy into it, that was the first thing. The whole thing talking trash about sleeping with your mom and stuff like that. Yeah, that's kids. Let's just be honest here. It's people in their 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s that's over here saying this trash.
All right.
So I think it should.
But Mega, can I ask you a question? Are you getting that kind of treatment in a party chat as well?
No, that's the whole reason why I don't get into the what's called because
Okay.
it's
Because I was gonna say that's fucked up if you are getting that in party chats.
I mean, you'll get those weirdos they'll sneak into a party chat.
Yeah,
And you
yeah,
was there,
We've had it. I know.
coming up, saying wild stuff. But other than that, but I'm talking about like when you just come and you want to play and you just want to interact with other gamers,
Right.
and the first thing you hear is, "You black? Are you this? What? I mean, what the fuck does it matter?" I mean,
Yo,
and
for
so
real.
yeah, so for me and for women as well, because I mean I've been in parties with some of the ladies at GWG and others, and then the first thing they do, they start talking about this and penis size and are you a lesbian? Say stupid shit. I mean,
It's the stupidest shit, bro.
and then when they get their ass whooped by some of these girls, it's like they go even more ham on the shit, and the reason why they do that is because they can hide behind the internet. So for me, I do feel it should be policed. I mean, when you got, it's just that's just my opinion on it. I think that.
But what about that white on white crime, Mega?
White on white crime, I love it, but you know what? But the fact of it is that it.
Oh,
What? Fuck it. I mean, it's just to me, it's like you stupid, but I think it's long overdue everywhere for what I'm saying. People can say you're being sensitive, but you're not the people that's going, when somebody call you an asshole, a dick, or something like that. Yeah,
It's not
get
the
over
same.
that.
It's not the
That's
same, brother.
not the same when you sit there and you try when somebody's on the other side screaming out racist bullshit at you. And look, let's just be honest here. And this is going to be unpopular, but white people can't comprehend the same shit as what
Dude,
people of color.
I was just thinking that to myself. I'm like, yo, I can't understand anything that you or that Yobi kind of like go through. That's why I'm just kind of
Yeah.
like
I mean, like
Exactly.
I'm shutting up and listening. I did that with O Snaps as well because when I first met her, she was a big Call of Duty gamer.
hmm
But she would not put on her headset to play Call of Duty at all because
Right.
or when she did, she wouldn't talk at all because as soon as somebody found out, as soon as somebody caught wind that she was a girl playing Call of Duty, dude, all of a sudden, like you said, the dick size and this and that, and she would just get flooded with that
Exactly.
type of conversation, man.
Right, and that's not. Look, you want to have more to interact and play with. Now, what I'm saying, to play with and enjoy and have more experiences. And what's sad and unfortunate is that I've done it more here recently by going into party chats, and because of people knowing other people, we can talk, we can have fun and stuff like that. Like, I mean, like for Blades, for instance, I know how Blades is, so
Yeah.
it doesn't bother me. But
Oh man, but he shuts the hell up when he's in the party with that you have. I'll tell you what.
oh yeah, now he can't go. Yeah, Blade can't come. Quite tell when he comes into bar parties. But the thing is, though, it's like as long as they don't touch the party chats. Like if you start trying to censor party chats, then that's when I have a problem. But from the outside, I feel that, like, look, I think everybody should be able to have the opportunity to game in peace. Just because you can come out and say it's a freedom of speech because of this. Look, you can't go and say that shit at work. You can't say that shit. You can't say that shit.
I mean, you can, but you'll lose your job.
Oh
Yeah.
no. So, let me chime in on this.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish what you was gonna say.
Oh no, I was just going to say is that there's consequences everywhere you go. It's just like what Yobi said. Like you can go somewhere and say the wrong thing to the wrong person, and it goes both ways. Like I wouldn't want to be in a party with people with randoms, and then there's some because that's happened before, and I just got the hell out of there.
Right.
Where there was black dudes when there was a white guy came in there and we was playing 2K, and then they started going in on the white dude. That shit ain't right.
It ain't.
If you're being foul to somebody, is being foul. Talking shit is one thing, and if somebody gets in their feelings because they got their ass beat in the game, then so be it. And then those things need to be policed. But I do think that it's a slippery slope, but there's something that needs to be done because I think, like I said, all gamers need to have the option to game in peace in some way, shape, or form.
Do you think that
True.
them doing like
True.
that, the companies like this doing things like this, do you think it's gonna help out society, or do you think that this is kind of like almost like an scapegoat that even though it's a society issue, I don't feel like we're confronting that like as a society, and I think we're kind of like looking for groups to control it instead.
Mhm.
You know what
I,
I'm saying?
I agree. Look, you can't. I mean, Microsoft is listening, but Microsoft is also a company as well.
Yeah.
Right.
So they're trying to tread the line, and they want to do right by people, but with all corporations, there's always something that goes way further beyond the realms of what the intention was supposed to be. So
Exactly.
it could fuck up and make everybody pissed off. That's why they have to really listen and not dwell and not try to overstep the bounds by trying to say, well, talking this way to somebody by just talking trash, then we got to hit you with a strike. Things like that cannot happen, because once that happens, then once you're not only going to lose people behind that, but you're also going to alienate people from what your ultimate goal is, for everybody to start being more connected.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's a weird kind of like topic to do this, but I want to shout him up, fight him down.
Why is he so far away from the mic?
You sound far away from the mic, bro.
I know, right?
I do.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, people out there, they hear me regularly. So,
No, man, it sounds like you're talking through a
Dude,
wall.
it sounds like you're all the
better?
way in the bathroom.
Better?
Yeah, way better.
Yeah,
All right.
better.
All right, yo, huge shout out to Shout Him Up, Fight Him Down, tuning in live from Norway. It is 3:14
Ooh.
in the morning, and he is tuning in on the next podcast. Huge
Good
shout out
shit.
to you, brother.
That's awesome.
I know, Yobi, you said you wanted to chime in on this. I also want to hear Predator's opinion as well.
Go ahead, Pred. I want to hear Pred speak.
Yo, Pred, what do you think about Microsoft trying to police Xbox Live? Do you think that they have a plan to do it kind of like in a foolproof way? And what do you think about people arguing the fact of freedom of speech, even if it is like hate speech, to a specific gender or race or whatnot, man?
I didn't read this article, so I don't know the in depth of it, the intricacies of it. But like, is it active monitoring or is it passive monitoring?
Well, they said they're gonna get into doing it. I don't think anything is implemented right now, but even when Microsoft said this back in March as well.
Yeah, I remember them saying it before in the past.
Yeah,
like,
but now Phil Spencer came out, and I believe he told. I have the article in our DM. He said that Xbox Live is not a quote unquote freedom of speech platform. That they can indeed go in and monitor and kind of police this in terms of like bigotry, prejudice, and
yeah,
stuff
that's the
like
thing. That sounds more passive than anything. So like it's not. If it's quoted the way you just said, like they can go in there and do that. Like I can understand that. Like so, example, like you said something like crap, right? So let's say crap. That's a bad example. Okay, random gamer A, right? He starts getting all these hits that he's using obscene language, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So then Microsoft decides to monitor that person's stuff. I can completely understand that. And if it's something like, they're just randomly checking out what the hell, Xbox 448's doing, I don't agree with that aspect of it. I think that's a bit too much. Like I think if it's reported and they feel like they have to investigate it, then that's one thing. But if it's not reported, it's a lot of resources to be wasting on just game chats and think about this logistically. Like how many gamers are out there using Xbox Live, right? Talking on a headset. How can Microsoft monitor that? Like, how's that feasible? I mean, honestly, I don't know the answer to that. So that's a lot of resources and people to do that job. And
I mean,
don't
you
think
can create algorithms that'll be in search
pick
of
up
certain
words and stuff like that.
and stuff like that. Yeah.
And I'll say this too, I game because I play a lot of games you guys don't. So when I'm using my headset, I'm usually not even talking. Even if I have it on, like when I play Ghost Recon,
in
most
a
of the
party,
time,
you're the same way, brother. You hardly.
I'm playing the game. That's the thing.
You'll breathe the hell out into the mic, though.
So when I'm in a party, because I like games I have to strategize in. When I'm in a party, I don't want to hear all that noise, that background gossip, bullshit talking. Like focus on the game. And when I'm playing with a lot of people, that's not what we're doing. We're trying to get to an objective, but we're not focusing on the objective of the game. We're talking about the weather and fucking the football game and stuff like that. And then I'm like, yo, there's an enemy over here. And you're like, where? To your left. Oh shit, you're dead. You're like, you're not focused on the game. So like that's why I don't use my headset a lot.
Dude,
Because
I got
most
a
people
game
aren't.
with you more because I complain that same thing, brother.
Yeah, like I play. I
You
try to
just
play
got a game
tactical.
period,
Uh,
bot.
I
you
do
got to play
game,
something
brother.
other than Destiny. But like,
Yeah, he's always stuck on
Oh,
Destiny.
but yeah, when I play
you guys
Ghost Recon with
stalking my gamer tag, yo? Like,
Nah, man. Like I would go through my friend list. It would say Xbox either YouTube or Destiny. I was like,
yeah,
this
right.
motherfucker loves some
Yep.
damn Destiny.
But there's a
Pretty
reason
much.
why we don't invite you to games anymore.
you guys heard it here first. It's all I
Just
do:
saying.
YouTube and Destiny.
Yeah. See, like, there's a time I want to goof around. Like, Sea of Thieves is a perfect goof around game, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't mind doing random dumb shit. But when I'm playing like a
Especially
tactical
with that
shooter,
graphical power, man.
that's right. When I'm playing a tactical shooter, I want to be fucking tactical. It's like, shut the fuck up and focus on the objective, right? So, like, when I play with other people, like randoms and stuff like that, everyone usually has their headsets off anyway. No one's using party chat anymore. Sorry, no one's using the voice chat feature. They're usually in a party with somebody else instead of like with the randos anyway. Instead of trying to get in with the people that they're playing the actual game with, they're off. Like their mics muted or they're in a party chat with somebody else. So like this whole thing about this, I understand where Phil Spencer's coming from, but actually implementing it, I don't know if they're actually going to do it. Like I said, I think they're going to do it more passive. So it's kind of like, it's just words at this point until it actually happens. Now, when people start getting banned and shit, like if I can't get on there and play with people, then I'll know that they're really serious about it. But right now, it's just white noise to me.
All right, and that definitely makes sense until they start actually doing something about it. At the end of the day, it could just be that kind of like public relations speak, knowing that this is going on and we can definitely take care of it. But I can see where you're coming from, Fred. Like until they actually start doing something, like you don't even know or if they are gonna do anything, basically. Yobi, you did say you had something to chime in on. Do you remember what it was with this topic?
Yeah. So I was on Twitter one day and like about the whole free speech thing. So I forgot what game, but it was this chick. I think she was on PlayStation. She was playing Overwatch, right? And I forgot what her gamer tag name was, but the people who she was playing with, who she was in a party chat with or whatever chat they call on Sony, they had no idea. They had no idea she was a girl. So then once they found out she was a girl, dude, the entire party chat went in on her, and it was and to make it so bad, they found out she was black. So it went whole left. Like they start calling her
Really?
a bitch. They start calling her the N word, like everything you could think
And
of.
hold on, were
And
these people on her team?
uh, uh that is a good question. I
mean,
believe so, bro.
in
Cause
the
no
end,
no 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 no
it
no no
doesn't
no
it doesn't make
no
sense
it wasn't
either way.
because she had her team and shockingly I don't know how, but the whole entire party chat I'm guessing they knew each other, but
Okay.
but like through their online name, but they never knew she was a girl. She was a black girl, and once they found out, they went in on her, and some people from her team was defending her, but the team who they was playing to get they went off on her, and it was like bad,
Damn,
and it was all on Twitter. It was all on Twitter as well.
that
Wow.
sucks. Like I said, at the end of the day, like when I look at all this is an issue with society. And you know what's going to happen? Like companies can come in and they can police this, they can do this, they can do that. But I feel like society as a whole needs to get off their ass and be the change that they want. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like and I think it's something. It's a responsibility for everybody. I think when it comes to humanity, I think we're all. I feel like we're all responsible for each other.
Right.
Right, and I feel like the only way to get anything done is to work together.
We got to deal with this type of situation in real life. I
Yeah.
don't want to come home to my refuge and have to hear that.
Exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
that's how I look at it.
Nice. I don't know, yo, Don. Do you have any thoughts on this?
I mean, it's a tricky subject, right? Because here's the harsh reality: is when you have more freedoms, there's more potential for people to get hurt. Innocence, right? I mean, that's just you can apply that to anything in life. But when you have something that's more police, people can be more safe and protected. The question is that whose safety and whose protection and who sets the rules, and that's where a lot of the controversy always comes into play, right?
Mhm.
To me personally, I prefer freedom. I think that's the area where people learn the most and learn how not to be stupid over time.
Mhm.
In regards to that. That being said, what people do with their freedom is absolutely stupid and asinine. Like, what I mean? Like, why would, when you're given all the freedoms in the world and all these privileges, why would you go to a racist comment? I have no idea. I can't have any understanding for that person in regards to that. And then because of people like that, then these sort of things come up in the first place, right? And it just, overall it just sucks. No one really wins in these scenarios, but at the end of the day, it's not a necessary platform for communication, Xbox Live. And so that's the reason why Microsoft has the freedom to call it. It's not like your telephone. It's not a free speech platform. They can do
Yeah, it's not.
whatever they want.
It's a paid platform that you pay to get into. It's
Yes.
Mhm.
not an open public forum where
Yeah.
I feel like that whole like freedom of speech thing kicks in there.
And
Mhm.
the other problem is, people will throw around terms like hate speech. Well, the problem with
Hate
that
speech is
terminology,
really general terminology.
that's the problem, right? It's a general terminology that everyone has a different definition of, and so it
Mhm.
doesn't put everyone on an even playing field. When someone says something racist, you know what that's called? Being an asshole.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. It is what it is. You're being racist and you're being an asshole, right? If you're talking inappropriate to somebody that's a certain age, you're inappropriate. Let's just
Mhm.
call these things what they are. In regards to that, I think there's two levels. There's the racist type stuff, and that it is different. Like, I experienced racism towards me. I can only imagine if somebody else has a different skin color than me. Like, I can just only imagine what that's like, right?
Mm.
So, I don't pretend it doesn't happen. It totally does happen.
Like,
Uh,
dude. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
like in regards to that, and and it affects everybody totally differently. So I totally get where people come from on that front.
True.
But the same token, we want people to play games. As a developer, I want people to be able to get online, play games, and not have that be a barrier to discourage them. But the same
Mhm.
token, do you want everyone to live in fear of be able to communicate or talk to? I mean, some people are just, they grow up, they don't know any better. It doesn't mean it's an excuse. They just don't know any better. So how do they know any better when they're exposed to people and people call them out on their shit? Like,
Right.
when those interactions happen, right? So, like, I don't know. It's hard to pick a side on it. I get where Microsoft's coming from. They're well within their rights on that. Um, and I mean, that's just kind of is what it is. I don't know what else to say about it. And it's not a free speech platform, and I'm all for freedom. But I mean, if you have freedom, man, don't waste it on bullshit.
True.
Just,
True.
like, man, there's so many other things you can say, and there's so many more friends you can make. It's not worth it, man.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah. That's the thing. I've kind of, I mean, I haven't dealt with racism to the extent of Mega or even Yobi or Pred or anything like that, but
Mhm.
I have dealt with it in a way where, I have had people call me certain names that because I am a person you can consider they call them passing. I am a passing person. Yes,
Wait. What?
I can blend in with white people. Yes, because I'm passing. I'm Spanish.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes.
Never heard that before.
So yeah, yeah, they call us passing. Um
Jesus.
So you
so
have
I
a
do,
heritage that's
but
classified
but
as a minority, but like
But you
people,
look, but you look,
people,
right.
you can
yeah,
blend in.
okay,
Basically, is what
yeah.
you're saying.
Okay.
Right,
Okay.
right. I blend in. So, once they hear my last name, they start to go more towards the racism and things like that. So I have had to deal with that, but I've never had to deal with it on a level like, say somebody like Mega or something like that, where you've had to with it constantly on a constant basis the rest of your life, and to come home and having to deal with that at home while you're playing games, while you're trying to enjoy something that you love, that is just that it completely boggles my mind why people are still to this day like that, because it's like you guys realize like we've had, it's I don't know, man. It's so it disgusts me, because it's like you guys realize like we're all human beings. We all bleed fucking red. So what's the difference between you and me? There really isn't one.
There is none.
There
There's
isn't.
here's the thing: is they need what they call it. Don't take their games away. Just make an asshole lobby.
Have
Yeah,
it.
just
If you're,
like
if
put
you're
a
an
put a
asshole,
dunce cap on them and
put
tell them,
yeah, put
Yeah,
them
they
with
are.
other assholes and
Yeah.
let it and let the wolves go at one another and until they learn, oh, that's stupid. You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? They can almost police themselves if you just put them in with one another, right?
Or put an asterisk behind, like I think more so if
Like a black label
yeah,
on their name.
like a scarlet letter. Yeah, like
Yeah, gotcha.
people know when they first come into the party and they got this thing in here, and they're like, like, oh well, shit, you gonna stay there or you gonna go? That I think that would probably be better, because if you know what I'm saying. But again,
Yo,
it
guys,
is pretty slow. It is.
my bad. I don't mean to interrupt you, Mega, but I think Sammy Prescott Jr. he hit the nail on the head when it comes to the First Amendment in the chat. Huge shout out to Sammy for dropping this knowledge. Says the First Amendment protects people from the government, a closed network platform that has a terms of service does not apply. People do
Exactly.
not understand what
Right.
freedom of speech and First Amendment is.
Right,
Sammy,
exactly.
you are the man. You are the MVP tonight. Thank you.
I mean, and that's the reason why Facebook's under so much scrutiny, like right now. Not to get into politics, but right, like is it a free speech platform or is it not, or is there? It becomes the more dominant means of communication, so that becomes something different, right? At least debatable wise, it becomes something different. On Xbox Live, I don't need to be on party chat to play games. That's
Yeah, well,
the harsh reality.
There's also a difference between freedom of speech and just saying whatever the fuck you want because you feel like it's your God-given fucking right too, So it's a slippery slope when it comes to all that stuff. It's just it's very.
Isn't that part of the
it's
problem?
crazy.
Is there needs more defined definitions. I think a lot of the freak out is it's not really well defined. Like I think there's certain things you and I and everyone on this panel would say, well, yeah, we never do that shit, right? But there are some people that are going to be like, oh, like they don't, where is that line, right? If the parameters of the rules are put in place, I think it's a little bit easier. People may not like some of the rules, that whatever, but you have clear defined rules. And I think that stuff settles down after a while in regards to that. But I mean, I think we also look at this stuff from an adult's perspective. Like, some of you have kids. I know Bot has kids. I know Mega's kids are all grown now, but they grew up gaming as well.
It's funny. I call my kids like when they go to bed or something. I'm like, "Good night, crackers." Like I do that, but
well, I mean, yeah, I mean, like when Don comes into our party chats, how live that gets,
Oh yeah. Yeah,
so, I mean,
I call it the moment of silence for the first 10 minutes before I say anything.
The temperature in the room first. But,
yeah.
Right,
I call it the Caucasian caveat before I start talking, right?
Yeah, Don's got to turn that giving out potato salad. Got to bring some baked beans and some cornbread.
But blueberry and cornbread. That's the way to do it, man.
Can I come? I want some of that too. I want
you come on in. We got no problem with that. No, we got no problem with that.
Yeah.
But the biggest issue behind all of this is that, look, I mean, I want to interact with as many gamers as I possibly can. It's just that there's just some strange people out there. And every time I get into a party with some new people, and it's been every time here lately, there's always somebody taking things to the next level. If they're not racist, they're homophobic. If they're not homophobic, then they got some other crazy shit going on. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what in the
I've
hell?
been into a couple parties with you, and some people who just hop in and they're just like,
And I
there's
don't
some
even
weird
know.
people out there, man.
Yeah, I
And
don't
you
even
don't even know
know.
them. I'm just
Yeah,
like, how
I'm
do
like,
they even
man,
know you?
but I'm trying to be cool. But well, they see the name, I guess, or whatever, and then they jump in, and
Yeah.
then they'll say my name, and I'm like, hey, what's going on? And then they'll be like, hey, you want to do this? Want to play that? Yeah, look, go ahead. And then next thing you know, oh, you suck. Fuck you. You can't game. What? I haven't even. What? And then next thing you know, it goes left.
We played one match. What are you talking about?
Well, I mean, and I might not even got the chance to play with that person yet, and then it turns stupid because they go after the parties, and then that's when you
Yeah.
got to lock the party, and nobody don't want to do that. Nobody, I mean, we want to
Yeah.
interact with people. So
I hate
Right.
locking a
Especially
party
when we're
down,
doing
man.
YouTube, when we're all of us. I mean, you can kind of consider all of us YouTubers, even though some of us don't have our own channels, some of us don't upload on a daily basis or whatever. We're all YouTubers.
He's talking
and
about
we
himself,
like.
people.
No, I'm talking about all of us. I'm talking about all of us. But don't
Dark,
try to do that.
Dark, why is it always about
I-
you? I don't understand.
Man.
I hate you guys sometimes. You know,
Oh, that's
I'm-
hate speech. Where's Phil?
it-
Sorry.
I'm trying to get something out here. Let me do it.
Mhm.
You know, we want to be able to play with you guys. We want to be able to interact with the people that come to our podcasts and interact with us on the chat. We want you guys to come into our parties. Just don't be weird. Don't be freaking crazy and I mean, you can be weird, but don't be like, racist and homophobic and all that shit. We just don't want that because we're not those kind of people. We're just
We're not.
not.
Case in point. I'm and I'll let somebody else say
That's
something. But I just wanted to just say, there's a couple of young kids that listen to us, right? And
Mhm.
I've never been
well,
like that.
well, there's one. He's from England, and he's really cool little cat, right? He's about, I think he's like he never really told me his age, but I know he's young. I think he's probably maybe around anywhere from 12, 13 years old. And so, because his mom will say something, and then he'll say, I'm playing with games with K Mega, and so I'll play a couple of games with him, something like that. But then when people jump into the party, I'm like, hey man, you got to get out of here. This is grown folk stuff, whatever. Because there was one time I had him in the party. I don't know if Don was in that party, but then
Yeah, I was there for that.
yeah, and then they started getting into I'm like, look, we got a kid in here. Come on, man.
Actually, I think I was even in that party.
I
At that.
think so, yeah. And so like I'm like, look, this is the
Yeah.
kid here, but there's some people that just don't care. And I'm like, all right, little man, I got to get you out of here. You know what I'm saying? Get on. But just some people just don't have no home training. I mean,
No home training, no common sense, man.
yeah, like okay, you know what I'm saying? So it's crazy, but like I said, I try to game with anybody, man. You know what I'm saying? And talking shit is my thing. I don't mind doing it. It's just the fact of what kind of shit talking level are you at? Are you trying to be just foul, or are we just talking shit to have fun? And then hey, who's the better gamer at that particular moment or whatever game? I'm all about the competition.
I
But
mean, that's a good point. Like,
shit.
because
Yeah, me too.
X Spot 440, he's really young, and so I try to set a good example when he's in the party.
You made it sound like he a fucking shorty, bro.
Yeah. Bot and baby bot. Yeah. So.
Guys, wait, you'll see me at E3 2020. We'll see.
You'll have a
I will
great
see you at E3,
goatee
brother.
and-
Damn right.
He'll be a grown man. We'll be like, damn, he's actually got a beard and everything.
Guys, I grew a mustache. Yeah.
He'll be the 30-year-old with the rat tail.
Oh,
No,
shit.
no. I had a rat tail at one point in time. But yo, guys, check this out, man. I think we could talk about this forever, but it is Saturday
Can I say
night.
something before you end it?
Yeah, definitely, Yobi. What's up?
Yeah, so on that topic, so I was playing WWE 2K, I think 17, and I was playing this guy online. We had a good match. I ended up winning, and I inboxed him saying, "Yo, good game, bro. Hope to do it again." And his response was, his response was, his response was, "Fuck you, you black piece of shit," and I died laughing. I was like, "Bro, what?"
Wow.
I showed it to my little brother. I'm like, "Yo, you see this shit?" And we just started laughing together. It's like, "Yo, why do you say that?" I'm like, "Cause he's not. Cause he couldn't take a loss like a man, and I just started
Yeah.
laughing. But
Not
that
only that, brother. Not well. First off, the whole black piece of shit thing, like that don't need to be in there, right? But
seriously, bro.
also, Yobi, like
Yo, talk to me.
you are part of a rare breed that will actually send a message saying "good game."
Yeah,
Some
man.
people might think of that as sarcasm because
No,
they
no,
don't see that like that either.
yeah,
You
Right.
know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Like if I win, I'll say good game. Even if I lose a match, I'll say good game. I was playing Mortal Kombat like couple weeks ago, and I lost like 2 times in a row. And I inbox both the guy like, "Yo, good game." I didn't get a response, but it's what do you call it? Sportsmanship.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. And like I said, it's just that like I said, you're a rare breed. Even us on the panel, like K Mega and stuff, like he definitely he's a competitive gamer and he loves like real good matches, like in Mortal Kombat and stuff like that. He loves going down to the wire. But I don't even think like we go in and they're like I know I haven't like put out a message, yo, great game by the way on like
Mm-hmm.
a rando I played. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Uh-huh.
But like I said, you're a rare breed, and man, dude, we are happy to have you in the gaming community. Happy to have you as another extended family member on the next podcast, brother.
Thank you. I
No doubt.
appreciate that.
And guys,
But yeah, that's why I was trying to rush home to get here. I was like, yo, can I fucking go? Oh no, the GM is having lunch in upstairs in Manado at the bar. I don't give a fuck. I'm trying to go. I got
brother,
priorities to take care of.
brother, never stress. Just let me know when you want to come on, and we will roll out the red carpet. K Mega will open the door for you. The Don will serve you popcorn, and
Put it
you'll
this way, K
Potato
Mega
salad.
showed up like
Dude.
5 minutes before you, so don't even worry about it.
I'll be the guy.
No!
I'll be like that guy at the restaurant that you see with the napkin, waiting to pat your mouth down.
Oh wow! So
Wait,
Wow.
what?
What?
Wow.
Nah, I pat my own mouth,
Oh.
man.
Yo, he's like, nah, I'll do that.
Was that a pause moment? Was that a pause
Oh.
moment? This should have been
I'll
a
pat
pause
my own
moment.
mouth.
It's getting weird, man. We gotta go.
Yeah, guys. Yo, we definitely got to wrap up the show. Like I said, we could talk, forever, but that's just the way this panel is. I know that's the way everybody out there in the chat is as well. Again, huge shout out to everybody who came to check out the next podcast tonight. I really do appreciate it. Your continued support is what drives us to do even better every week. So every Saturday we put in our most so this way you guys are informed and entertained. I think tonight's show, I think we hit a home run, guys. I think it was a little crazy. It was a little emotional. It was a little energetic. But at the
Mhm.
end of the day, when you're passionate gamers, you will get shows like that. And I feel like we covered a lot of things, a lot of really big topics that people are talking about when it comes to Xbox, when it comes to gaming. But like a 40-year-old with a comb over, guys, we got to get those plugs in. And I know O Snaps loves when I say that. Yo, Yobi, man, why don't you let people know where they can get a hold of you to talk games and anything else you want to say, man?
Man, you could get a hold of me at Twitter at VGYOBYXB. You can find me on Xbox Live on Gamer Tag. It's Yobi Dren. I'm just happy to be a part of this community. It's like I said before. I'll say a year and a half back, I never knew. I knew a gaming community existed, but I never knew like a real gaming community, like with the podcast. Like I never knew video game podcasts existed like a year ago. So to be a part of this, it's another place I can call home, man. So I deeply appreciate it.
Nice, brother. I definitely appreciate that, and I appreciate you and everything you do in the community. And
Damn right, and more to come, brother.
in Mortal Kombat, man. Shang Tsung came out, right? I
No,
Oh
he
haven't
said
even.
more
shit,
to
that's
come, not
right.
Mortal
Yeah, it
Kombat.
is. He's
I'm
dope. I'm
finna
playing
try
with him
him
right
right
now.
now.
I'm playing with
Oh,
him
okay.
right now.
Guys, you don't know. I might be playing games after
God,
the show
what?
tonight. I don't know what's going on, but
Oh, you're actually gonna play some games? Oh, wow.
maybe Destiny. I don't know. But nah, Don, again, man. Joining in. You definitely put you had a lot of great opinions on the topics we've had, as usual, man. It's always good when you can make it on the show. Why don't you let people know what you're up to. I know you're streaming a lot more on Mixer. You can tell people about that, and anything else, and where they can go to talk games with you, brother.
Yeah, best thing to do is follow me on Twitter. My links to my Mixer channels there. The links to my YouTube channels there, which I don't ever post anything, but it's there.
It's there.
It is there. And I will be streaming off that about half an hour after the podcast, maybe playing a little Division, start to kind of grind through that backlog. And guys are welcome to join me if you want to play a little Division with me, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
And that being said, I'm getting closer to my 2,000 subscriber mark on Mixer, so I'm pretty excited.
Ooh,
Sweet.
nice, brother, nice.
Yo,
Congratulations.
I'm at 152, but I'm closer than I was yesterday.
My God.
shit.
Dude,
Nah.
you are closer than you were yesterday, and that is the best way to look at it, man. Definitely the way I look at it when it comes to YouTube as well. So,
But-
what's up? What's up, brother?
How dare you?
How dare I what?
Dude, how do you gonna say the done and not say kiss the damn ring after that,
Dude,
man?
brother,
That's right. That's right, Yobi. You need to kiss that damn ring.
Yobi, why don't you say it for me, brother? Why?
Well, given the outro right now is the done kiss that goddamn ring.
Ooh, I like it, man. I don't know, Don. What do you think? Was that good? Better than me, right?
I already sampled it.
Oh, nice. Yo, all right. Well, moving on. Predator. I know you want to get to gaming, man, and as usual, it's always great to hear your opinions every Saturday night. Why don't you let people know where they can talk games with you, and if you actually have a special guest appearance actually planned without the Predator signal going up, man.
Oh my god.
Nothing coming up this week, man. This next podcast next week. Predator Space H2OS pretty much everywhere. Xbox Live, PlayStation, Switch is some long number I can't remember, and
That's a lot of damn
Steam
numbers.
and definitely MySpace. Hit me up on MySpace. That's where I'm at.
It's where he's at all the time, people.
MySpace.
And just to let you guys know, his Nintendo, number, it's called the Nintendo inmate number. It's like a prison
Jesus.
number, man. It really is. Dark, you know the drill, man. You're a professional gaming podcaster. You know what to do, man. You gotta let people know where they can go to talk games with you. And if you have any other announcements, now's the time, bro.
Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter, Xbox, PlayStation at Knoxximus, and every week I'm here and the next podcast. Sometimes I'm making fun of K Mega, sometimes I'm not. It just depends on the day. But yeah, man, it was fun. Always glad to have a guest on. Yobi came in a little late, but it was awesome to have him on.
Nice.
Thank you. Hey, are you Dark Artemis or Dark Goblin? Which one?
It's Dark Artemis.
He's Dark Otter.
It's Angry Otter.
There's so many nicknames. King Peasant.
Yeah. I love how we all chimed in with a different one too. Like,
yeah, everybody has a different one for me.
Dude, that's how much you are loved in the community. You have so many.
Well, that's why. But that's why a lot of people get confused. They're like, I can't find you on anything. I'm just like, it's Dark Artemis.
See what I'm talking about?
This isn't Cheers. Not everyone knows your name.
Not everybody's looking for you either.
Yeah.
Yo, oh no. On that
Dang,
note,
Fred.
Hey, yo, bot.
Yo, what's up?
Yo, what's his name? Say he's waiting for his invite.
Who is?
Bloody Nux.
He's waiting. Where does he say? Is he in the chat?
No, he said it. No, we said it on GRG podcast last night.
Oh, you went. Oh man, I don't know, man. He's getting a little. Yo, dude, what are you doing to Bloody over on GRG, man?
What are you talking about? He's baby bot.
Yo, in the beginning, he had more common sense. He's been going off the wall lately, brother.
That's baby bot, man. That is you.
Yo, he might get that title rescinded.
Wait. Bot's really young. So how young is?
maybe I should call my boy Infant Bot. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean,
Baby Bot Junior.
Wow, Baby Bot Junior. Yo, all right, let's move on. Yo, Mega, we have been through this from the very beginning. Not only that, man, we have been talking games ever since we were chilling in Facebook. talking about video games and YouTube channels and stuff like that. So you know what to do now, brother, man. You just
Yeah.
let them know about GRG, your YouTube channel, and where they can go to talk games with the infamous El Mega.
Oh my God, legendary! Thank you.
More like late nigga.
Oh!
Anyway, man, it's a pleasure as always, man. You can come check out my channel, KMega405. Go ahead and check out the latest episode of the GRG podcast last night. It was fun. We had sneaking in the back room like bruh man, Pred came in. We had Yobi, helping my boy Bot get the young buck out there, get his feet wet. You know what I'm saying? He handled his business, he did his thing. So man, check out and subscribe to everybody on the panel and on GRG, man. Go show support.
I appreciate that.
Hey, no problem. And man, I most likely probably will be doing something with Don. Don't know if we will be streaming something or what, but I'll probably be playing whatever. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully somebody won't come in here and get some Mortal Kombat.
I gotta knock that rust off in Mortal Kombat. I might
Man, I'm tired of winning, so I won't be joining you for that.
Man, but I've been wanting to kick your ass in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, come on.
Oh, shoot.
Let's
let me just hit this cartridge and I'll be good to go. Yo. Guys,
but anyway, thank you, man. This is sorry, baby Knox. Don't interrupt me. I'm not done.
Oh, baby Knox.
Shit.
Baby Knox.
Bloody is baby Bot, and now Bot is baby Knox. Like
baby Knox.
Oh no.
Anyway, no, big shout out to the people, man. Thanks for having me. And give me that gameplay, man. That Azura's Raft is the truth,
That
man.
shit look
That
crazy.
That is a fire ass game.
I went through it and played that shit all the way through and beat it because I didn't beat it the first time I had it on a 360. But I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna play that shit.
Brother, you saw my Halo 5 gameplay, right? You saw what I did there.
I love Halo 5. Oh, hey,
you see what I did there, though.
Thank you, Kiki, so much for saying, you know what I'm saying, hashtag save lives.
Dude, I had to tell, I think it was Mooch last night that she did that for you. And I was like, of course, K Mega had to send me a DM showing me that she said that.
Oh, man.
I'm surprised he didn't even tag me in there or nothing. I'm surprised he wasn't like, you know what, this fucking Dark Animus is always saying fuck Lock, fuck that.
Oh man, what she said about Timo Cyrus and Locke, man, I'm so stoked.
Hey, is this an outro or are you gonna have another story?
He's gushing right now, yeah. Guys, on that note, it is Saturday. The gamers got a game. We got to get the controllers in our hands. I just want to let you guys know the gameplay poll is live on Twitter. You have to go to @xbot448 and vote for who had the best gameplay. As you can see, what's going on right now, this is Yobi's gameplay. I am calling this might be the only time this ever happens on this show. Yobi is the honorary winner from last week's gameplay. And again, huge shout out to my brother Yobi. Thank you again for joining us. And but I'm gonna end the show the way I do every Saturday. We will see you guys next Saturday for the next podcast. Have a great weekend, everybody.
The crazy thing about that whole Destiny thing, when they all start playing together, they all start sounding the same.
Oh my goodness.
Oh dang.
I ended it.